We are going after the bloodstained sword of evil.
This is the part of the game, like the whole quest to get the sword on the weird island. I always forget about this part until I stumble onto it. I'm like, oh yeah, every single time.
Actually, come to think of it, Deptford, this is your first time on the stream. Would you like to say hi officially or something like that?
I may as well. Hello, this is Deptford. I love Chrono Cross. I feel very deeply about Chrono Cross in ways good and bad, and I'm happy to join along.
That sounds good. And we are all happy to have you.
Thank you very much.
For anybody who just follows because of the stream, I think Deptford is on everyone's radar because he drew pretty amazing comics and also write-ups about video games back on that one forum where a lot of us hung out. Or still hang out.
Not so much anymore.
In some
I
cases.
still post there from time to time, mostly about how movies are all bad now.
Yeah, that's right. Like every time a new Marvel thing comes out, you have to mention it.
That's because all these people are like, well, I enjoyed it, and I'm like, and you were wrong.
You need to fix this.
Look, we live in a world where we all have to make choices about the media we consume. And I feel that if I yell at enough people for enjoying Disney content, eventually they'll enjoy it less.
It's definitely a net impact on the amount of Disney love in the world.
Has to be reduced in some fashion.
Exactly. Everybody has to do their part, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Chip in, like Captain Planet says, you know?
Yeah, like, it's up to us. Only we can prevent forest fires? That's not right.
Well, I mean,
Smokey
Captain
Bear.
Planet wasn't a fan of forest fires, let's be real here.
I'm sure him and Smokey Bear would get along great.
Just hugging it out and enjoying themselves.
Now, we're just all setting ourselves up for a terrible day when somebody finally, finds the 1989 nightclub footage of Smokey the Bear and Captain Planet just getting into it at a nightclub, just, throwing fists, throwing bottles, just a whole mess of a thing.
It would break my heart.
Yeah,
Never
no?
meet your heroes.
So our current party is left over from last week.
So why are we in the elephant graveyard from The Lion King?
Because
Also, I'm
there's a
still
sword there.
I'm disappointed that you're using the fun guy.
I was going to
because
say we're at
everybody
least
hates
using
him.
Fun Guy until Fanboy Master gets back because it is something that bothers him to no end.
Listen, I think this is a very good party. This party's dynamite as far as I'm concerned.
When Goggle Bob said we did this, God, we did this interminably long not cutscene. We did this interminably long side quest last week, and I'm like, why are we doing this? And Goggle Bob said, well, if we do this, we get the bunny girl. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. Proceed. And then we finally got the bunny girl, and I'm like, that's not what I was expecting. I wanted, a Playboy bunny. What the hell is going on here? This is not right.
Unconventional.
I felt deeply ripped off by the bunny girl. Not to say that it's a bad bunny girl, it's just not the bunny girl I was anticipating.
Hi, Pooch.
Hey, Pooch.
Hello, Pooch in the chat. Yeah, there you go.
Brings up my my education of the people on Disney's America, an idea that must never be allowed to pass, and will probably happen anyway. It's ridiculous.
So Deptford.
Did you? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, have you played the Chrono Cross HD that we are now watching?
It's one of those things where every time I go on the PlayStation store or something like that, I'm always tempted, but so far I've kind of heard very mixed, honestly not mixed, most people seem to not really like the re-release that much. I'm like, I already have it on so many other devices that I'm holding off for now, but I think one day I probably will cave and go for it anyway.
Yeah, I feel like you, being someone who genuinely has great affection for this game, would be able to appreciate / possibly dislike this version more than your average consumer.
Yeah, I think I have strong feelings somehow about it.
Yeah, it's like It's like how I'm buying the fucking Sonic remasters when they come out. I guess week after next. And yes, that
Oh, yeah,
makes
that's
me
coming
cool.
up.
Yeah, that's coming up, right? I will definitely have opinions on them that will probably go way further than your average. Oh yeah, I played a Sega Genesis back in the day person because Sonic 3 is my fucking jam.
Oh, yeah. Sonic 3 and
That will
Knuckles is a all-timer.
allow me though to hate them deeply and passionately on levels other people can only barely imagine. It is important that I
Very
know
important.
all that I know, so I can dislike them more. So I can be that one fucking guy.
You gotta dislike them to their utmost.
Yes. So,
And I'm trying to think. So, like, the Sonic ones, the one thing I actually at least do like about that is that they're getting kind of weird with it. Like, there's some features that, like, they're adding in, like, I know it's like some weird extra thing I think you have to pay, get the collector's edition for, something that lets you look at, like, 3D models.
yeah,
of,
they
like,
have they put together there are tiers for the purchase. There's the normal version
It was
and the
very
fancy
bewildering.
version. The charts they released for it is some of the most deranged, broke-brained shit I have ever seen in the world of video game
It looks
marketing.
AI generated.
Yeah, it looks and the simple fact of the matter is there are not that many things you can add to a collection of 4 or maybe 5, depending on how you count them, Sega Genesis games. It's just not a lot you can do with that. So they listed stuff like, oh, in this version you'll have the background for when you're playing it in letterbox mode, and the ability to fiddle with the camera in the menus. Stuff that, like, you either would not notice if it was gone, or would only notice if it was there and just sort of go, oh, hey, that is kind of neat. And those are the features, because you can't really do much else with a collection of Sega Genesis games. They're Sega Genesis games. Just not much there.
At least respect that they're getting a bit deranged with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. Okay, so
Yeah.
we're at the Elephant Graveyard from The Lion King.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely.
If memory serves, it's like an item I'm supposed to use around here.
That rings a bell, yes.
It's like,
Again,
I
like,
know
this-
I'm supposed to do something.
Something. Yeah, like I said, this whole island kind of mostly falls into like a memory hole for me, but I think there is an item of some sort, and then you go through the weird mirrors, and then eventually you fight Cervantes from Soul Calibur.
Yes, exactly. You
Everybody
fight
loves
the
Cervantes.
biggest guy in the game, which they kind of make a point of in the other things. Oh, Cora keeps saying, here we go. I knew I was supposed to do something.
I just realized you probably had fast forward on,
Yes.
because, like, in one of those battles, I'm like, man, they are moving very, very, those are some very jittery character models. I wonder if they just, like, screwed up the HD version and this somehow, if they always moved like that. We just didn't notice on our old 11-inch CRT TVs.
Yeah, nope. Definitely put them in fast forward, which is
Alright.
like one of the major benefits of the HD version. That and the fact that I can avoid random encounters if I feel like it. Or I suppose not so random encounters.
Especially in this game where, you know, the vast majority of random encounters don't even give you any experience points or, you know, stat boosts or anything.
Like you want to do a couple just to see what's
Exactly.
going on
There's
in
a
the
few-
area.
Yeah, and like the first few after a boss fight give you stuff, but after that it's just nothing but a waste of time.
I swear you've made, like, the same lap, like, 3 times now.
Yeah, no, it's because you have to go under the skeleton, I think, which I just figured out. Like, I know there's a little bit of a delay.
Oh, okay.
There we go. No, it's definitely, this area is definitely literally constructed to be annoying.
I always admired how Chrono Cross is like the loudest and tackiest like text boxes in the entire genre.
Oh, yeah, no, and I have to do the skeleton one because
Of course,
like, obviously.
you gotta stay on brand.
There we go.
Look, when I'm in your when I'm in your stream group, you just have to go all skull all the time. It's like the rules. Oh shoot! Is this your grave?
Obviously. And we once again get a flashback with Karai, who is like 2 heads larger than everybody in existence.
My God, he is.
Can you guess that he's like the one guy you fight that doesn't become part of your party?
Some of the HD would clarify something I always wondered about this cutscene. Are they still using Radius's like old man character model?
It appears
like,
that
supposed
is
to be
the
from his
answer.
youth.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was like back in like whenever I played this standard definition, it was always clear, it was fuzzy enough you could kind of use your imagination, pretend they actually made him look young, but
nope.
No,
Oh man,
just a murderous old man, even when he was young.
I just assumed he was like on some Master Roshi shit, where like he had been like an old man for like 120 years.
I mean, I have an Uncle Joe who has looked like essentially George Costanza since he was 20, but now he's like 80 and he still looks just like George Costanza. So he's literally said before that the secret to life is to age all at once and then just stabilize. Just call it a day there.
Get out of the way. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would be concerned about like a Jerry Seinfeld cursed him to never die situation at that point.
Well, that does happen on occasion, so we have to remember that. Like, you act up at one stand-up show, and that's just what happens to you.
Just keep being punished for it. It's a damn shame.
So I think this is like the first of 2 white elemental bosses that are complete monsters if you're playing this game straight.
Mm.
And yes, he is definitely just Cervantes from Soul Calibur.
Just give him a mustache, and there you are.
Does Cervantes have an eye patch, or am I imagining that?
I'm sure he had like some
I
Player 2
wanna
costume with an eye
suggest,
patch.
but I'm drawing a complete blank.
No, he didn't. He
He's
said
not-
Soul
okay.
Calibur 2, I don't think he did. Or Soul
There's
Calibur
been
2.
so many games. I definitely can't vouch for all of it. Vintage classic Cervantes had both eyes fully intact.
Despite being, dead.
Despite that. For him,
It's like we can't hold it against him. Time to summon up some kitties. I mean, you gotta figure there's some sort of crazy afterlife that if you are a vengeance ghost who's mad at people who are moderately friendly with the person that killed you, and one of them happens to be a cat, one of them is a mushroom man, and the other one is a bunny girl, but not that kind of bunny girl. And like,
She's in the same ballpark, like she's within the standard deviation. She like that's she is within the margin of error.
She's a rabbit girl, not a bunny girl.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. When you describe it that way, it makes perfect sense.
Garai really should be a bit more confused. He has a remarkable composure considering that he just got ambushed by this. The man who killed him and these guys.
the man who killed him is definitely like probably more contrite than he was expecting.
I mean,
And yet
like,
not helping with the situation at all.
No,
if I
not
were
at
the
all.
enormous dude, I would just be like, "Oh, are you guys like here for the view or something?" Because it is a very scenic overlook. Like, do you guys might? I would just be like, "Hey, you guys want to leave? I got to kill Master Roshi here, and like, it's gonna be a whole thing."
You trek all the way through the elephant graveyard just for the view.
I mean, I would do that. That's very me thick.
Also, Deptford, if you haven't played the HD version at all, I have enabled a cheat or whatever that comes with it that allows you to just everybody misses. Or every villain misses, I suppose.
Gotcha.
Because there's no way
it's-
I'm putting actual effort into fighting Garai Like, come on, man.
See, normally you do that like on purpose. Like
Well-
you actually like Game Shark it or something. So the fact that it just comes with that as a feature.
I mean, I very much
Kind of
appreciate
impressive.
it. I have said it before. I have bought Final Fantasy IV in like 17 different versions. And every version of Final Fantasy IV I have bought has not just said, hey, this is the Tower of Zot. You hate this area. Would you like to skip it? And nope. Just have to play through that once again. So the fact that this game acknowledges maybe you don't want to deal with the absolute worst parts is like, I'm happy with that. So sorry, Garai. You somehow didn't score a single hit. And now we got a sword that
That's
we can
actually
never
like weirdly impressive. Like if you just the dude is like an 8-foot wingspan. If he just like takes a purely like horizontal swing, he's got to hit something.
Well, I mean, if we want to no prize this one, like, he is a ghost. So maybe
Oh.
he's just bad at this.
Poor guy.
Like, he hasn't
I was gonna
quite...
get revenge, and he's can't even materialize for it.
Exactly. He's doing his best.
Character's
Yeah.
all fake, pretending getting hurt just to make him feel better.
Okay,
I
I'm
always
just
feel like bad for like the ghosts they find on TV, on like for the supposed ghosts on like ghost hunters and stuff. It's like, oh, we did all the research and found out that like 18 people were murdered here, and that's why they keep knocking over the milk in your refrigerator. That's all they got. That's all they got going on. It
How else
sucks.
can they express all their rage and sorrow?
It's just
So,
Yeah,
like, the idea is
like-
that ghosts are basically, like, moody teenagers. God, Dad, you know I was murdered here? Alright, we are going back to the future, or the Dead Sea.
Which is actually my favorite part of the game. So
Agreed
this is
completely.
good timing. Yeah.
This was actually, fun fact, oh yeah, I forgot I can do this. When I first got Chrono Cross, like, I am not somebody who's ever in my life worried about spoilers. I just kept reading, like, game facts or whatever. And I got to the part about the Dead Sea, and legitimately it would be hard to be as good as my imagination was. But I was just so obsessed with just getting up to this point because it's like, oh my gosh, this sounds like the best thing ever. And of course,
There
I was reading
is-
about it, you know, old school game facts where everything is just black text on a white screen. And it's like, what could this possibly look like?
There is something to be said for the very singular experience of reading the GameFAQs.txt file for a game that you have not played and do not own, and just letting your imagination fill in all the blanks.
Exactly. Come to think of it, that fact might have actually been written by Toasty Frog.
He did write
Yeah.
quite an extensive fact back in the day, didn't he?
Yeah, for Chrono
Yeah.
Cross. That just
Yeah.
kind of a come to think of it thing.
What's up? What's this? Chrono?
Hey, fanboy.
Just
Good
Chrono.
day and welcome.
Hey there.
Just got home. Hello.
Hey, welcome home.
Hooray. Gotta go.
We're just about to go back to the future.
Oh, hey, it's the Soul Edge. This really is Soul Calibur.
Man, I wish.
Yeah, I think this is why I always forget about the whole little Garai thing, because I'm always just like so excited, like, oh, I'm going to the Dead Sea, and then I forget there's this whole detour that my mind just edits out my memories every time.
Well, I mean,
always
this is
remember
definitely...
this. Okay.
Well, I was just going to say, this is one of those things where I feel like the game was already going off the rails, where it's like, oh, the Masamune, we hate the Masamune. And it's just like, no, did you play Chrono Trigger? We like him.
But yeah, I played Chrono Trigger, yeah, when I was a kid, so when I played this for the first time, I was just like, I was heartbroken. What happened to you, Masamune? Used to be
I-
cool, man.
I remember this section
Yeah, boss
existing. I remember this section exists every time, but also I could, like many subplots in this game, I could not tell you where it is. It just sort of happens almost entirely disconnected from what leads into it and what leads out of it.
I think it'll kind of dream logic approach to storytelling like Chrono Cross thrives at.
I wouldn't even call it dream logic, because like if it was dream logic, it would be like, oh, they said something nonsensical to get us from one place to the other. This feels like they just didn't say anything; it just changed, which is very dreamlike, but I wouldn't describe as dream logic.
Might be given too much credit with the word logic in there.
Yeah.
Something like that. The thread of prophecy has been severed, but for some reason we're still doing this shit.
I've talked a lot of shit about this game, but I do like
For good reason.
the idea and the aesthetic of a ocean that was like mid-storm and then suddenly froze in place. Not like iced over, but just like stopped.
100%.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of very
Just
cool
suddenly lost.
imagery in this game.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like it just suddenly lost all all kinetic energy at once and just became like completely still. That's
Yeah,
fun.
this really is one of the high points. And that's it, like this game, it's got gigantic problems all over the place, but I love it anyway just because, like, you know, the aesthetics are genuinely, like, you know, so good, and some of the concepts and ideas and individual moments are great, even if just the way they're put together is a little less than some of their parts.
I mean, I have to say, the Dead Sea here, like, just looking at the battle background that kicks in for your first fight, like, I feel like the entire justification for this is they wanted to do the future of Chrono Trigger in something like an HD. Like, when I say
In
HD,
3D,
of course,
which was big at the time.
yes, whatever HD
was the style
PlayStation
of
1
thought.
was. But just the idea
definition.
that, you know, you're seeing the world after Lavos here and available in something that's a little bit better than 16-bit graphics, that, like, you know, this
CD quality.
just like you imagined. And there would be no plot excuse to do this that would make sense. And oh, here's our poor Johnny.
It's been 500 years since time stopped.
That's a sentence. That's what
That is the opening of the third Final Fantasy 13.
the fact that you followed that sentence up with the third Final Fantasy 13 is somehow even more disorienting.
I hate to say it, but it was one of the best Final Fantasy 13.
God damn it!
As far as Final Fantasy 13's go, absolutely.
I really like
Its best feature is the fact that it's basically just secretly a Valkyrie profile game.
I am.
Mhm,
I absolutely love this robot design. Like, it's just like your typical big boxy robot, but they put a metal skull wearing a visor and a mohawk on it, and that makes it better.
I mean, that's ripped pretty much directly aesthetically from Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, that's seriously, that's 100% Chrono Trigger.
I mean, it's basically supposed to be the thing that killed the guy you liked in Chrono Trigger, whose corpse is, like,
Hey,
lying right there.
This isn't even the first guy from this time period that we like that will be dead before this game's done. And replaced by someone that we like much less.
I mean, I could see liking Highwayman, but there's, like, literally no explanation for what is happening here other than this dude apparently wants to fight you.
I mean, that's kind of how game bosses are. I won't put the game on trial for that one.
I will. Somebody's got to hold this game's feet to the fire.
I mean, there's a lot of better things to hold the game's feet to the fire for, other than just how games typically work.
I mean, there could be some more, like, Highwayman could, like, chase you, or you could watch him kill Johnny, or just something that is just other than here is a boss.
It's like a punk rock version of that one boss from Final Fantasy VII when you're escaping Midgar.
Yeah.
It's kind of
With the
that.
mohawk and sunglasses.
Because it also has the like 90s obsession with bandsaws, but
It's just his brother going
I feel
through
like we
the
lost
time,
something
he's
when
acting
we
out.
stopped doing bandsaws and literally everything.
But yeah, I was just gonna say, like, this game is clearly like a tale of often misallocated budget, And so, like, when it's like, oh, we didn't have time for a big set piece for a minor boss, I like that's not what I'm gonna take it to task for. It's when it like fucks up something big that I'm like, oh god, you couldn't have spent you couldn't have cut Fungi for this.
You do like I would love nothing more than to see what characters they didn't put in. Like what characters were like
because they had like they went 60.
We
So
need
I'm curious.
Fungi, but
Yeah,
who did they choose? Who did they decide wasn't Fungi level?
Yeah, who did they like say, well, it's either this like really, really cool original person or the mushroom. I'm going with the mushroom. That's like a very cynical take. It's entirely possible that like there was like a radish dude with even less of a neck.
We already have a radish dude.
You have forgotten about Turnip already.
I just said radish dude because my brain was struggling to come up with something worse than a mushroom. But no, I had to be correct.
Way ahead of you.
That's so
Which really does
to me. It happens to me so often.
Which really does raise like so many questions about what 20 characters would we have gotten if Masato Kato had gotten his fondest wish of like 60 some odd characters for some reason.
I mean, I want to say, like, some of the character portraits don't make sense other than maybe this character was supposed to be more involved. Because, like, there's the one...
Oh, definitely.
There's the one shopkeep that is, like, Lena's friend, who... That's her entire existence. But for some reason,
I
she has a character
believe that
portrait.
I fully believe at some point you were supposed to be able to recruit your mom.
Yeah, I was going to say that next, yes. Like, it would make perfect sense that she's part of the party. And, like... There's no part of the game that would, like, kind of, like, oh no, if Serge's mom was here, this wouldn't make any sense, because, like, there's no part of the game where it doesn't make sense that Fungi is standing there.
The only thing I could say about that is that, like, I could see a few characters, and we know at least one character was cut for this reason, that it would be so conspicuous that they had no opinions on what was happening, that they just didn't include them, because like we know that that's part of the reason that Guile didn't end up being Magus is because having to explore any aspect of his reactions would have taken up time and budget, so they didn't do it.
Makes perfect sense.
It is a shame that they chose to prioritize. Like, I listen. Would it pain me to have to give up Mojo, the voodoo doll's playable character? Of course, it would hurt all of us. But it just, I just think, like, honestly, like, maybe, like, the single biggest improvement this game could have had if, like, its story just, like, really hanging together better and be more, involving is just have a smaller group of characters who are actually have some level of investment in what's going on at all. Because just the weird plug-and-play thing just doesn't work, and I don't like with like Suikoden or anything like that, or however you pronounce it. I'm not sure if that's correct pronunciation of Suikoden, but you know what I mean. Like in that one, having a gigantic cast of characters not only makes more sense, but they also just do such a better job of it. They all feel like they at least do still have a sense of place. While in this one, it's just characters, beaming in and out of existence at random as they're in your part or not. They just have no real level of investment in what's going on, and it all comes to the expense of having like things that anybody would actually want to see or care about in a story like Magus.
Yeah, like the Suikoden thing is, always the easy point of comparison because it has way more characters, but like Suikoden it's built on an understanding that they are of unequal worth, so to speak. Like every Suikoden character fills a specific role, and some of those are roles where it's like this person goes out on missions and cares about the plot, and some of those roles are like, welcome to Castle, I feel so good.
Yeah. It's just like the sheer, just contextualization of like, gathering all these people together for this, like, because you're building like an army or a rebellion or a, small state sort of thing. Like there's a reason for it. While in this one, I don't understand what the drive was to prioritize all the characters when it just doesn't really plug into, story or Serge's journey or really anything.
Like none of them have a journey. They don't, like, there's not really a broad enough, like, I could see a way for this concept to work, because the idea is that, like, an entire dimension is threatened, multiple dimensions are threatened. So, like, the idea of, like, people banding together because it is their very existence at stake, and, like, no one has, like, a neutral stance in this, but this is never communicated to the people in game. Like, there's no sense of urgency to the average person about this journey, so it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't really make sense that they would all drop whatever the fuck they were doing to go on whatever the fuck this is at this point.
I mean, and that's also the thing, is that so much, like, they kind of have the MacGuffin of the Frozen Flame in that basically everybody from Fun Guy to Van, like, everybody's got a desire, and theoretically if the Frozen Flame grants wishes, then everybody wants the Frozen Flame. Okay, that's kind of a banding concept. But once you get past that, like at the immediate moment we're in, like, a frozen dark future, and I'm pretty sure, like, Janice here, who just used to be a bunny girl who fought monsters on a pirate ship, is just going to be like, okay, I could go home right now. Like,
I don't think we're finding the Frozen Flame here.
I don't need to deal
later
with this.
But yeah, and then of course, like, no one, you know, because none of them can say anything, they don't even really have plug-and-play lines to be like, but what about the Frozen Flame, to even keep that MacGuffin at the forefront of the plot. I often forget that it's even supposed to be theoretically the driver for a lot of them, because it's supposed to be the driver for everyone, it should work with that, like, setup, but it doesn't, because no one ever brings it up, except the characters who actually care about the plot, who care about it for different reasons.
Yeah. The game just, like, has a huge problem with, like, you know, the stakes and the motivations being so, like, murky and hazy sort of thing. So for both the audience, that's a problem, but also, too, just for the characters, like, how are any of them supposed to even understand the level of investment or anything of what's going on at all? It's just a weird dynamic.
I especially like the idea of, like, say, just imagine being, like, fucking, I'm trying to think of, like, Doc or whatever, and you've just been pulled in for one dungeon, like, 3/4 of the way through the game, and no one has told you anything about why you were invited or what you're doing. That is actually my ideal game. I would play that.
Ample Vigor, what's good?
Very little. Are we on
That tends to be the case.
on the goggle bobble bobble bobble?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, Goggle Bob Bloggle.
Bobble bobble bobble.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Goggle, woggle, woggle, woggle.
No, my wife and I are both in our weekly, like, group chats with the folks, and I know I need it right now.
I get you, man.
Sorry to hear it, but glad that you're here.
Thanks.
Oh, hey, here's a
Nice.
big Lavos diagram.
And also,
Hey, remember this better game? You keep saying
Remember the
that.
bug?
Will you stop saying that at any point? Oh God, no.
Hey, have you had the pleasure of meeting Deptford?
Oh,
Hello.
Deptford. I remember Deptford. Hi, Deptford.
Yeah, well, he's here.
How you doing? I remember you two there. In a while.
You got the golden radio voice. I love it.
Thank you very much.
He really does.
Deptford here with smooth.
Is that
Saturday-
box just floating in the air? Or did they fuck up the layer?
In 2022, it's actually the voice of someone who has, like, a podcast network.
It's true. No. Podcast voice is more like this.
It's true. It sucks.
And the thing is like that's almost like it's almost like it has to be cultivated almost as much as like radio voice does. Like you'll find a guy who sounds like Deptford, and you'll be like, Deptford, okay, here's what you got to do. Here's what you got to do. I need you to get angry, but I need you to get, like, peevishly angry. Like someone fucked up your chicken nuggets order. And I need you to hang on to that. I need you to take that anger into, like, a conversation with a lady.
Be upset in the pettiest way possible.
Exactly. At the end of this, I want you to be arrested, naked, holding a shoebox. Then you're going to be ready.
listen, it's a huge commitment, but I want to get this podcast off the ground, so I'm in.
You can earn hundreds of Patreon dollars a year doing this.
Literally hundreds.
You know how many birthdays there are a year? Hundreds. Literally hundreds.
100% what I was referencing.
I'm glad.
I love the line so much.
We're all on the same page.
Later stuff with me.
It will never go away. Well, that because had to be prodded by a train of white stallions, which I had to buy and feed.
You know what we need to do is we need to find someone to create the absolute sonic negative of every episode of Retronauts as it's released, so that they can cancel each other out.
I feel like you could do numbers on fucking Spotify by just like releasing a podcast and it has to have an intro, like has a little intro jingle and everything, and then it's just nothing, and you just assure them that no, you all sat in silence for 3 hours.
There is as a podcast. I don't necessarily recommend it. It's pretty rough listening. I like it, but I don't recommend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
I do get that. I do get
But
that.
they did an episode. Their April Fool's episode was like they claimed to have done an AOC interview, and like the lead and okay, we're just gonna and now we're gonna they talked a couple minutes about how like it was really great that AOC agreed to do the show, even though they've been pretty rough on her in the past. I'm like, okay, now we're just gonna go straight into the interview with AOC, and they started playing like this little like 15-second like loop, music loop, and it plays for the next 2.5 hours.
My God,
That's incredible.
I was in the gym listening to this, and so I listened to this little loop for like 20 minutes, just laughing my ass off the entire time.
Every time I see the victory screen, or more accurately, the stats screen after they do a little victory celebration, I keep thinking, man, it's weird that they got like, 3 completely different art styles for character portraits. Like, Janice looks like, your average deviant art anime. Lynx looks like the gritty furry. And we lack the language to describe fungi. We just don't like it.
Oh God.
Language as a concept isn't there yet.
Yeah, no.
The problem with fungi is that like we've all met that guy, like the really swole guy with you can't even call him ugly. He just has an unfortunate face. Like the geometry of it's all wrong. Like I if I think hard enough, I'm sure I can remember a guy who has like just like a 20-inch thick neck and no chin and no cheeks. It just looks like his shoulders have taken a shit.
Oh,
Devastating.
such a nightmarish image.
you invite them into your party, they join.
It's like, probably a great guy.
Yeah, probably a real nice
going on? And then you take him to lunch and you're sitting there watching him chew, like, I should never do this again. I'm going to take this one to bed with me for a while.
That mannequin just like turn its head all the way around and then walk the other way.
Kinda, yes.
Yes, it did.
Yep.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I like it. It's completely bizarre to me, and I hadn't even noticed it, but it's crazy that Chrono Cross and Xenosaga Episode 1 came out within, like, 2 years of each other, and they both have the dungeon that is basically Haunted Mall. And I don't know if that was, like, they knew where society was going, or if it was just, like, a nice aesthetic.
I mean, I feel pretty. I have to say, I'm looking at this design of this mall level here, and mostly what I'm getting from this is that like it feels like the Shinra building.
I can't disagree
Which for
with
my
that.
money, which for my money is the last truly great Final Fantasy dungeon design. Like the last truly just spectacular, like I can't believe they fucking did this. Final Fantasy dungeon design.
When did okay, so I just Googled up when Zack Snyder's version of Dawn of the Dead came out, and that's 2004. Several years after both of these games, I believe.
Yeah.
Both this and so they were ahead of the curve.
7 was 97.
So they were riding the these games may, you know, I don't know if they started the wave, but they were definitely riding it earlier.
Yeah, they were ahead of the pack in that regard. Also, I just noticed the bunny girl actually skips everywhere, and that's
I was playing with that
adorable.
when we were back on.
Can't dislike it.
When we were back on the bone cliff, I had to have her jumping around like an idiot.
What I kind of respect about this game is it gets so many like the big things wrong, but it gets so many of the little things right.
Yeah, there's
something to that.
There's something to that. It's like
it's not how it should be, but I gotta respect it all the same.
Yeah,
I mean,
weird thing to like see and appreciate. You can't like once you notice it, you're like, oh, that's kind of nice. That's kind of impressive.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a substitute for a functional storyline.
Yeah, no.
I still think it's good.
What I'm hearing is that what I'm hearing from this is that Masato Kato is a devotee of the Hagakure.
Don't know what that means.
Matters of great concern should be treated lightly. Master Ite commented, matters of small concern should be treated seriously.
There it is. Clearly.
Right.
I do live the Twitter life, if that's what you mean.
I mean, like, I could apply that, like, at my job, but I'm pretty sure it would raise some eyebrows if, like, the next big report I turn in has beautifully formatted cells that are all empty. I work at Excel, by the way.
It keeps talking about links. The formulas don't know what to do with that.
Yeah. See, that like little corridor you walked down that looked like it could go somewhere and then didn't. That's
Chrono Cross.
That's Chrono Cross, yeah.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
It gets like designing your environments so that they look, naturalistic. So it looks like, yes, this is what a mall that's like just sort of crumbling and falling apart would logically look like. But also no, just like fucking put some rubble there. Don't waste my fucking time. Because it looked for all the world like that was supposed to connect to the central part, but it didn't.
There is a reason this game gave you fast forward.
Wait, Lynx is summoning a bunch of fucking stray cats.
Yes.
His feral cat.
This is his ultimate attack, is giving you toxoplasmosis.
Yes. Also,
obvious
game with fighting.
Link's entire like YouTube history is nothing but like best of Warrior Cats videos.
Oh fuck yes!
Wow.
Yes. Warrior Cats best deaths. Put that shit on loop. I put that shit on loop when I have to do financial modeling. Just like it carries me away. It puts me on that Orinoco flow shit.
You're gonna ascend to higher planes of godliness.
Oh my god, no, I know. I wanted to say like, I'm smoking that shit that made the Orinoco flow. That's what I want. Put that on my headstone.
Oh, this is starting.
Is there gonna be is that like an opera singer?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I think a beauty pageant thing. If we get closer, we're gonna get there.
I'm not like certain, but I think she was like 3 feet tall and also a ghost.
And also a playable character from Chrono Trigger.
Are you all right? No, god damn it! I'm in Chrono Cross.
I have been turned into a cat that is also my dad and also a robot. I am not having a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where like where like you kind of wish he did have voice, or like not even voice acting, but like had lines at least, so he could
Oh, I've
just say,
wanted that this entire game.
"Okay."
He's
Like this entire
"Asshole."
game is about like this. I've wanted that this entire game because this entire game is like it's supposed to be a very personal journey for Serge, and he says jack and shit about any of it.
Oh yeah, if there's one thing I think about Chrono Cross, it's definitely the emotional depth and authenticity on display.
Like he is supposed to be the thing that like is tying this entire thing together, and he's doing shit all.
Get him a real character. The whole body swap with Link just would have landed so much better.
Yeah, like there would be something to that. There would be something to the reveal that Link is your dad.
Yeah.
Wait, Link's is his dad?
Yes.
I hate this.
So-
Mutated into a Catman for reasons.
See, at least Serge could
Can
be
I
like,
get into
I've turned into a
spoilers?
Catman. A big, sexy Catman with an enormous cat dick. It's like, Serge, was that
No.
necessary? Completely.
That would instantly make the game way more interesting, though, if he was shouting.
That would be his only line in the entire game.
Oh, it's like the Chrono Trigger ending, where Chrono says like one word.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I thought like the only ending where he spoke was the one where fucking
Yeah, Luke and Marl.
just like roasting enemies, just roasting the fuck out of him. And Chrono just comes over and is like, "What are you doing? What even is this?"
He just kept his silence as long as he could.
Yeah, like he can't.
Exactly.
He can no longer remain quiet about this.
The ending's called Slideshow.
The ending is
yeah,
called
that's right.
Centerfold.
They all
That just makes me think of that just makes me think of Frisky Dingo. Slideshow, she's in it.
Blood runs cold.
One of the little treats of getting to know fanboys is just knowing that at the drop of a hat he'll just start singing.
It's horrible. There's a Nodal was talking about. I can't remember if it was him that said this or the person he was talking to, but apparently when I came up, I was described as a human hit clip, which was like the most hellish description I've ever received, but also I couldn't say it was wrong. A human hit clip. They were a novelty toy for children from the early aughts that played 1 minute of a horribly compressed pop song from 2002.
Damn.
Even
brutal.
in and of
That's a fucking
itself,
burn
that
right
is
there.
esoteric knowledge.
Yeah, that's like
Rock sword.
one that's like needlessly cruel. Two that's like wildly esoteric.
Yeah.
I would even did that. I would sentence him to be roasted by TK Flash, but Fate already did that for me. Oh,
Are they gonna
do
introduce
they
themselves
always
again?
do
They
that when
are.
introduce themselves? They're like, hi.
Yeah, the gimmick of these characters is that they're kind of like beauty queen contestants, and they tell you what move they're going to use. So, like, there are ways to sort of game these fights so you can get like the elements that they're using. Or
I do like
it's
that one
just-
of them broke
The
the
element trap thing.
I actually think that is like a fun and kind of clever mechanic. I just think it'd be better for like a boss fight rather than an enemy you'll run into multiple times.
I was going to say,
The
and not
boss
even
fight
just like
or-
one thing you fight. It's like you always fight like 4 of them at once, and it's like, please stop.
I'd also maybe say do it someplace that isn't an area that's this bizarrely somber otherwise. Like it's
I
a weird
think-
place to put this very strangely comedic fight.
Yeah, like
I
these
think-
girls
I
all
think there's
died,
an-
and they
there's
were
an element
teenagers when it
of-
happens. Doesn't that suck?
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like I would feel. I mean, just knowing what I know about the kind of freakazoids who make video games. I
Oh
would feel
yeah,
better
no, that
if
just
they
makes
weren't
it worse.
But I actually do like that there's this weird like not just weird but like surreal element to these fights in this bizarre rotting shopping mall. I think that's a good fit personally.
Yeah,
It should be strange.
Yeah, I feel this area really does like play to all the strengths of the game because I think it's like the things the game is good at is like sort of like being like a mood piece, atmosphere, imagery and all that kind of stuff. And this thing where it's just like, a whole timeline kind of crunched and condensed to like a hurricane of like weird frozen chaos. Like they can do whatever the hell they want. And it all works. It's all thematically appropriate.
Thanks for your contribution, Fungi. Sure glad you're fucking here.
He's
Yeah,
essential.
we're you gonna get rid of him when Fanboy joins us?
Nope.
We're stuck, man.
No, I think Gogglebot wants to hurt me.
No,
Guy
I think
deserves a
if there's a feeling that Chrono Cross is going for, I think it is one of like melancholy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, it is also so completely like hot topic wacky that it's constantly undermining itself.
It's at war with the fact that it sprung forth from something that was heavily Toriyama influenced.
Yeah.
God, I'm just imagining like the follow up.
I think it's selling Toriyama a little short because Toriyama can do melancholy when he wants.
He can, but like a lot of times when Toriyama is just told design things, he makes wacky shit.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It's like straight up Dr. Slump, like smiling poop on a 3-wheeled Suzuki shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Toriyama's
melancholy.
guy will like create a character whose entire deal is that he like devours entire universes whole, like does nothing but like slaughter everything in his path, and his name is Beans.
That is the
Okay.
way.
Can I just say that whatever they did here in the HD version, this is bullshit? Like,
Yeah, this looks way off.
like
This looks really bad.
it's supposed to be these guys like they're kind of ghostly now, but I don't even know what they're going for here.
I can't tell what they are.
Yeah, I mean
think-
they're supposed to be the Viper Manor gang, like the Arcacia Dragoons or whatever they're called.
They
Oh,
look
fuck,
like they
that's
were.
Chrono.
They look like they were made out of stained glass and then like shattered, and someone badly tried to put them back together.
Yeah,
They
no,
look like the fucking ghosts that they project onto the mirror with you in the goddamn haunted mansion.
yeah, no, that sounds about right. No,
And,
I don't.
even like as a extremely gullible 6-year-old, that shit did not fool me.
It's like, no, there's not a ghost. There's not a ghost in this ride. Yes, but there's a sex offender in the car next to you.
Oh no,
Not a fan.
not sad.
Oh, they don't like. Oh, that was just sad.
They're
I mean,
all
like-
they're all like hard locked to be in front of you, which makes me think, oh, are they all just floating? Oh my god, they don't even like wibble wobble with the
Yeah,
transition.
exactly. Like, what is going on there?
Like if they wanted to sell me on it, they should like have them like positioned so that like you're walking through them, not like so you're just walking under them at all times. There are so many ways they could have done that better.
Yeah.
I have been extremely hard on this game. You should have seen me pop off again on the like marketplace scene where like you could clearly see the slathery, ugly AI upscaled sides.
Okay.
Oof.
Why do they have to do it like that? Like, I get why. It's because, it's just kind of a lazy re-release, but it's just, I mean, the backgrounds are one of, like, the few, like, pretty much, like, almost objective strong points of the game, and so kind of, messing those up is really taking the heart out.
Yeah, like, it's the sort of stuff that, like, really should have been, like, an easy slam dunk if they even had, like, a human look at it and tidy it up a little bit. You can AI upscale it all you want, sure, but, like, you gotta put in, like, a
Give it
model
once over.
after that.
Yeah.
It's like how when they used similar upscaling, but, like, for 3D models on the GTA re-release, and turned literally what was supposed to be like a hex net into a donut.
Delicious.
Now I want a donut. So it's your fault.
It is my fault.
Literally one of the reasons I'm on this call is like, man, I'm gonna go to some shitty shitty chain gas station and just buy like, they have those cups of like the center of Cinnabons under a heat lamp, and just buy one of those motherfuckers and eat it. I'm like, no,
Destroy yourself.
I love myself too much. I'm gonna watch this god awful game and roast it. Not even roast it, just just be like, this is awful.
It's like drinking in just like drink in the travesty of it all.
Yeah, exactly.
It is so weird to me that how's her name pronounced? Merle?
Marl.
The Princess Marl. Well, I was way fuck off. But she's wearing like this tutu thing where I think in the game proper she just wore baggy pants everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, she did.
Well,
That's a very strange choice to like.
Is there like a textual reason why the Chrono Trigger characters are like little kids?
Nope.
I think it's just like a weird Lynchian decision.
I mean, they look more bobbleheaded than they actually did in the NES in the Super Nintendo game. Which
in the Super Nintendo game, they were actually much larger sprites than
they were like, but they weren't like Final Fantasy sprites where the head like takes up the entirety. Like
that's what I mean. They were much larger sprites than usual.
They were
sort of
they
communicate.
were like actual proportions and shit. And here they're looking like the chibi versions of themselves. It is a fucking weird choice.
I guess what they're trying to make them look like what's the kid version of that look like, but it's not clear why they did it, and like
I mean, I feel like this is part of the reason, like, I mean, I unabashedly enjoyed Chrono Cross when I first played it, but I feel like this is part of the reason that there's a lot of people who I think disliked Chrono Cross for not being Chrono Trigger, because a lot of subconscious cues in Chrono Cross, I feel, are literally calling Chrono Trigger childish, and I feel like that part of making the protagonist literally ghost children in this, like, is something that adds to that.
Which is weird to me, because this is much more...
why. You are probably right about that being the reason why they're kids. Never thought of that, but yeah.
I can see it.
What they're going for.
Yeah,
well, because they
weird,
literally
because I would
say...
describe what's happening here as much more juvenile.
Well, the thing is, like, Chrono Trigger is a... How can I put it? It is a game that is made so that children can enjoy it, and it is a well-made game that, while aimed at children, can be enjoyed by basically anyone.
Yeah, it like hits the sweet spots that's like you could see in a lot of actually like timeless, really good Disney movies where this was made with the idea that like somebody who was 11 could fully appreciate it, but we also like poured our fucking souls into it so anybody can enjoy it if you enjoy good things.
Yeah, that's it. Whereas Chrono Cross is so petulantly rejects anything that could be seen as childish that it is juvenile.
Yeah, like I almost get the feeling like it's shouting, "This ain't your kids! We grew up! It's not your fucking kids' Chrono Trigger anymore!"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like... God.
Yeah, this is Chrono Trigger, but grim and gritty for the 90s.
Year 2000, it's time for Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
It's the summer of adventure. Enjoy your melancholy, but also like not really going anywhere. But it's one of those things, like, because it is also supposed to be on some level, like, everything that's happened here is wrong internally, but it is also like like many things about this game, it's a game that almost feels like Masato Kato had the reins in a way that he had not before, and was seemingly almost certain that he would never have them again. And so stuffed the game to the gills with all sorts of ideas that he wanted to, like, make something about, with little regard for how or if they fit together, and thus guaranteed he would never be given the reins again.
I do genuinely think that, and just like establish the fact that I do almost definitely like the game more than most of you guys, sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I think that's quite cool.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, I do.
We are not here to rain on your parade, but we are going to rain on it. Your parade is getting rained on.
That's almost like the thing, like, I agree with, like, almost all the criticisms. I just find it's, like, even a game that's, like, even the ways it's bad in an interesting way. I find this like a fascinating... piece altogether. Warts and
Yeah,
all.
like I wish I was with you there. I wish I thought that the game was more interesting. And maybe that's me being unfair to it and not trying hard enough, but it to me it's one of those cases where it's like a lot of it is like all of these ideas I can see where they could be interesting. But the melange that they create to me is not interesting.
I even find though, like just like the ways in which Lynx is terrible and makes no sense, legitimately incredible. Like he's the biggest mess of a character.
I was looking back
Maybe
at your
ever.
own Lynx post a few weeks ago because they're beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, like I'm gonna actually say something positive about the game here. I wish
Go ahead.
more games had like incredibly powerful bosses that looked like just
Like this
whatever
guy?
passes as a totally random ass NPC in the game.
This
Like,
is literally just your girlfriend's dad.
yeah, like just like this could be just some guy wearing a fishing hat. You get the idea he was just sort of hanging out here, maybe like smoking a cigarette because his wife gets on his case if he smokes in the house. You know, just sort of sitting
Yeah.
out here on the porch of the apocalypse, and then he sees you guys. I was like, all right, well, gotta beat you to death, and then just does it.
If you're not cheating, this guy's a giant pain.
Yeah,
Yes.
this guy's even harder than the Soul Calibur dude.
Damn.
And
Right,
again, like I
that, is
genuinely
something,
think
that is something I
Miguel
always
is one of
appreciate in
those-
video games.
Miguel is one of those fights that, like, is the game functioning as it's meant to? Nice. Like, in terms of he is an interesting aesthetic juxtaposition who holds a theoretically interesting place in a plot that if it worked better, he would be, like, a highlight of a fairly interesting aspect of it.
So the question I have is, can you put your girlfriend in the party when you fight this dude?
No.
You cannot.
Like, no,
Because she abandoned ship when you switched the Link's body and you replace with 1,000 other random jagoffs.
I mean, like I could like see breaking up with somebody because they turned into their cat, into their dad.
Oh,
who's
she
also a cat.
just
Yeah.
doesn't know it's you.
Oh, okay.
Everyone I've
Also-
ever liked has turned
also
into a
reasonable.
cat version of their dad.
That's
actually
all.
almost
Thank you very much.
I think my marriage is very strong. That said, if I just suddenly turned into a cat that was also my dad, we would definitely like that would need a conversation.
Yeah, that's
There would be a long
Exodus
talk,
City
possibly
reboot.
several. It's entirely possible she would like live with her mom for a few weeks after that, and I would not blame her.
You would, however, still be a cat, so that's, you know.
Like I like how this guy dodges just by like sort of like nonchalantly stepping backwards.
yeah, like,
I'm
I feel like
thinking-
Miguel works as a concept and execution.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's
cool.
one of the parts of this game that functions.
Yeah.
Now, do we want to address the fact that, you know, there were wars fought on the GameFAQs message boards about people that were convinced that Miguel was Chrono grown up?
I did not know that.
I've
It's a
definitely seen
really
that
terrible
fan
game
debate. There's not really any good evidence for it.
His
but-
hair is kind of reddish.
And Lena's hair is also red, so therefore.
Ah. And he's white
That's basically
element,
it.
which Chrono probably would be.
He's got Luminaire, which Serge has, and Serge is also white element, so.
You know, there's a lot of
I
superficial,
am,
really
however,
dumb
concerned. I am concerned that Miguel used something called anti-black, so he might just be racist. I'm a little concerned.
evidence. Put that away, Miguel.
Does his daughter be told? Does she have a
Do
right
you
to know?
dispute- do you
Where we
dispute, sir,
memories of them?
that-
What do we do?
Sure that all lives matter. That's what I'm
Oh,
hearing out
God.
of your voice.
Oh god. He's demanding.
He's like chilling out. He's chilling out at his house, and he walks out. He like, one second, I'll be right back. Like, walks back into the living room wearing like a thin blue line hoodie,
Oh
Are you
god.
against people? Are you against blue elemental people?
handing a big mug of Black Rifle coffee,
Oh god.
being like, so let's talk about her intentions for my daughter.
Can you believe they just revalued this place?
You know, mankind will only be given wonders when we are beyond all joy.
Oh, so this is one of those definite staple of the PlayStation 1 era. Fight against a boss while dramatic, sad music plays.
I feel like that's being a thing for like
Yeah.
as long as video games have had aspirations of being, and I say this with like a certain amount of bile in my throat, cinematic.
Yeah, that goes back to like I remember Final Fantasy IV having that, where like you're doing the boss fight and Edward is playing his sad and shitty little harp music.
Oh yes, against Dark Elf.
Yeah.
You Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Okay, so like you keep like sending your stamina deep into negative range, and I'm not sure what that means.
It just makes it take longer to get you.
Huh. Okay. I mean, it's almost interesting. I guess.
If there was any sort of coherence to how the turn order works, it would be an interesting mechanic, but there's very little coherence to how the turn order works.
All right then, never mind.
Oh, that reminds me. Did anyone here play that Kill Chaos game, Stranger in Paradise?
I did.
Stranger in Paradise. I have not played it yet. I'm probably gonna pick it up in a few months.
It's on
like
my
15
list
bucks.
when I finally get a next gen console. But I've been saying I will get a next gen console for a year and a half now.
The demo was very good, so I'm excited.
Well,
But
I'm
it's
just
also
curious.
tumbling in price. So
I know Kinisi of our Discord has opinions on it, but I think she also just mostly really likes Astos and like the Final Fantasy 1 guys in general. So
what were you saying?
I saw that clip where the guy's like, "Shut the fuck up, Astos."
No, it's actually shut the fuck up, Lich. Is what he's having a problem with.
Shut the fuck up, Lich. Okay.
But,
But I gotta say, like, I just have so much love for any character who like starts hearing someone give an anime villain speech who's like, "Fuck you."
Dude, it is honestly he's one of
There's a
my
lot of
favorite
bullshit.
characters because like that's exactly his entire thing. Like basically it's like if Kingdom Hearts had a main character who every time somebody started explaining something he just covered his ears and started shouting la 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 la, like that is exactly what is happening there.
but the more
like-
vulgar version.
Yeah.
Just give him lines from the Mad Bull 88 dub. Like-
Already.
And Mad Bull 34. I always think it's 88 because that's the the Heil Hitler number. And Mad Bull
Oh,
34
God.
That
is
would make sense with
the
that.
single most racist thing ever put to paper.
I still
But,
can't believe I read that because, not on your recommendation, more like on your warning, and just was like reporting my findings in our group chat for a while.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
That
the
shit was
line.
deranged, man. That shit was nuts.
I think it was you or Raider who put this in there. It's like the screenshot of like the people of Harlem stripping Mad Bull's police car and saying, and you're like, put the screenshot in there, and you're like, everyone knows that black people aren't an insectile subrace of born criminals, but Mad Bull 34 asks, what if they were?
Oh god, yeah, like
That was one of the most pain blasts I've ever felt.
I
Jesus.
think what like really struck me about it was how like the first 4 chapters all end with like the little nebbish, little tiny nerd Japanese cop asking the enormous American cop, "Did you really have to shoot them in the head?" And he always says yes, and was completely right to do so.
Absolutely, always.
Like just
Never-
raw idolization of the raw
He
fascism of
is never
American
wrong
police.
about like
Oh, yeah.
about like killing everybody preemptively. Every single time.
Like, that's
It takes
someone
place
that
in a
looked
world-
at-
in the least.
It takes place in a
Someone
world
that
where there
looked
are
at the impunity of
3 jobs. You are either a policeman, you are a innocent bystander, or you are the worst human ever.
the raw, like it is weird to see the id of someone looking at like the American police state and being like, why can't I have this?
Yeah, right.
Okay, here's a fucked up thing. The dragon said, "Grab on, sons of man," but one of them was a daughter, and one of them was a mushroom.
Listen, the mushroom used to be a person. We can't take that.
I
Also,
don't
one of them
believe
was a
you.
cat.
I do not believe you.
Is she a cat or a
You
rabbit?
saw
Is she a rabbit?
him.
No,
It's
there's a rabbit girl and a cat man.
I mean, I was giving him like a pass because the dragon might have known Serge or something. I don't know what.
Also, the Catman used to be just a dude as well.
Also, like, it's explicitly stated multiple times that the demi-humans are a literal slave race. That, like, you know, they are super racist towards them, and I don't feel like they've done anything with that knowledge at all.
Don't worry, they won't be doing anything with that either.
Also, this is a very nice animatic.
Racism.
I'm impressed by it.
I think they fixed racism with a rock opera.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
God.
So don't worry. Racism's about to be over soon enough.
I mean,
Oh
Cross
man,
taken care of.
like, on one hand, I am of two minds about that, and I'm afraid to speak further. I think I'm just gonna shut the fuck up.
I wonder what is Masato Kato written?
just wait until Pixar just completely runs out of ideas, and we like it'll be like Pixar's Swirl featuring Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh God, it's gonna happen. They put Hamilton on Disney Plus. That nothing's out of the question.
Okay, his last thing was another.
No, he did Encanto, didn't he?
Yeah, he was involved.
Encanto is
Yeah,
there.
that's correct.
No, he did
See,
Moana.
that's the thing. Lin-Manuel Miranda
Yeah.
does really good like music for children's shows or children's movies, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
No, it's an extremely important thing to have. That said, maybe don't build your entire like identity around it.
God, I'm looking at like the list of like things Masato Kato has done in the past like 15 years, and I'm just disarmed by the names of these like FF11 like quests that have just horrible names. A crystalline prophecy ode to life bestowing.
All right then.
A Shantoto ascension, the legend torn for Empire born. A Mughal Kupo Data, evil in small doses.
okay, that fucking kicks ass.
Yeah, that one I saved for last because that's the good one.
Please
And
enjoy
then-
the not FMV of Link's traveling dimensions.
Yeah, it just
made out.
happens. We did not have money to make 2 FMVs, so we did this. I like how Link's falls through and the other two just phase.
Yeah, like, could they not like apply the same thing to every character model? It seems like a stock animation. Ah! Ah!
Fun Guy just wasn't ready for that.
I wouldn't be ready for those things either.
We have quite the hate cycle.
But the most recent AAA game that Kato got to work on was the third Ninja Gaiden reboot, and ever since then...
Oh, and that was the bad one, I think.
Yeah,
that is the bad one, and like, there's a lot of reasons it's bad, but I'd like to point out, Ninja Gaiden Xbox and Ninja Gaiden 2 are games bereft of any meaningful plot. They have a very utilitarian narrative of a sword got taken, get it back.
Mm-hmm.
Ninja Gaiden 3 has a bafflingly complicated plot that also sometimes says, what if you're the bad guy for being Ninja Gaiden? And it's so
being
bad.
Being Ninja Gaiden is like the opposite of being the bad guy.
There are parts where, like,
That's the point of being Ninja Gaiden.
there are parts where you, like, I've ranted about this before, I'm going to rant about it again every time it comes up because it sucks shit. There are parts of that game that are very clearly, like, the most Kato things imaginable, because you'll finish a fight and there will be, like, one dude just standing there being like, oh, please don't kill me, Mr. Ninja Man, and then, like, you can't do anything other than stab them to death. And then the game has the temerity to imply that, oh, I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you stabbed that guy to death when we didn't give you an option.
Yeah, I do
These-
not miss.
Okay.
I do not miss that entire like school of game design where it's like, how dare you use the mechanics we've given you?
These
like-
sections sucked so bad that the updated version of Ninja Gaiden 3 cut them entirely with no replacement. They were just gone.
Nice.
That's impressive.
That is some serious buyer's remorse.
It's just no, it's gone.
I feel like one of the where's my brain, Scott? I feel like the only game that did that whole thing correctly remains one of my favorites, deeply upsetting games, Spec Ops: The Line, because the way it presented it and the way the way it built up to it made it feel like it just worked there for me. I know it didn't work for a lot of people. It worked. Spec Ops is one hell of a thing. I'm the only one who's played it, haven't I? I'm the only one who's opinion.
Yeah, of it. It's been on my to-do list, but I can't vouch for it one way or the other. I haven't experienced it firsthand.
It is a game in which you do bad things and you continually do bad things, and when you find out that the bad things you did are bad, it actually is kind of gut-wrenching.
So what's the explanation for all of the local fauna having been changed?
Quote unquote, Serge has released them on the area.
I love the idea of like Serge.
You just freed all the animals in the goddamn zoo. Got it.
Yeah, I like the idea of Serge just breaking into the zoo and being like, "Ha ha ha! You're free, invasive species. It'll take them forever to get rid of these. This will fuck up the whole ecosystem."
That's the entirety of his evil plan. He's just done after that.
But he is going to proclaim that the zoo actually banned him for hollering at the animals.
10 years that tweet came out.
10
The
years.
idea of Serge actually using like his ability to speak just to scream, "I will face God and walk backwards into hell."
Like Deptford joking that like, oh, that's all he's going to do. That kind of is all he's going to do.
Well, his plan is very, very disappointing when you realize what it is. Especially because
I'm not even sure if it constitutes a plan.
Well, yeah. It's sort of thing where, like, I know that's like low-hanging fruit, just sort of like nitpick, like a bad guy making things needlessly difficult. But dear God, Lynx.
Like,
the things this man does.
It's at the point where, like, the fact that he's not doing anything, his plan should, at this point, kind of be over.
He got Serge's body.
Like, that was the point.
And if I can sort of get into like some weird like late game mention stuff, like if I remember everything correctly, so like if I remember everything correctly, they even clarify that he, after Fate, Civil Computer took over Serge's dad's body, it was then a choice to turn him into a cat because Serge was terrified of a panther that attacked him. And just like
poisonous panther.
Yes, a poisonous panther, which
Demon
again,
panther.
And I just feel like, if the whole goal is trying to get Serge to this one room, I feel like you'd have a better luck manipulating him to doing that if you look like his dad instead of like his phobia.
Yeah, that's... Oh, my God.
There's a million questions and none of them are getting answered.
What the fuck? I don't know, it's like, so why are you doing this, Lynx? I need my son's body. I don't want to finish this conversation, and I never want to start another one.
Oh, we're in the area that I am flipped that fuck out at because I was so mad about the machete upscaling. Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's like 5 areas.
The area I'm flipping out at, I'm like, what? Homosexual incest? And you're like, yeah.
What? What the fuck did I come back to?
You came back to, like, Amplifigure being concerned by the implications of I need my son's body.
I mean, yeah, no, that's upsetting.
Here's the actual reason he wants it would probably come as a relief, honestly.
I'm going to be honest, and I think Deptford might remember what happens here. I don't remember what explanation is given for where Lynx goes. Like,
Well,
I know he
he
dies
goes where the angels
eventually.
fly. He instead goes to a lake of fire and fry.
Won't see him again until the 4th of July.
Precisely.
Why are there two of that dude? Why are there two of this
It's
motherfucker?
like the one time that they used the alternate universe shit.
Oh.
And it's fucking... These two blacksmiths eventually get together to make the best weapon.
Okay.
Because there was definitely no better use to get out of that concept than this.
They work
Like, there's
together.
so much-
I am reminded terrifyingly of the time Ample Vigor told me a story about watching Joe Rogan and Dana White.
Oh god.
Why that guy talking to himself?
I was at a I can't remember if either I or a something awful goon was at Hooters watching UFC, and they had there's the pre UFC, like the pre pay-per-view thing where Joe Rogan and Dana White yet do bald man shout times about how great the pay-per-view is going to be and why you should buy the pay-per-view. And sitting there, and someone in the crowd says, "Why is that N-word talking to herself?" And it just
makes you understand a great deal about who both of them are.
it does. It is also amazing to see. We when we were watching like early UFCs, like having seen like both Dana White and Joe Rogan before they discovered exogenous testosterone, and just be like, you were human once. What is that motherfucker?
You were a man.
Guy Joe say, yeah, I was once a man.
I was once a man. Yeah, no, that's what it is. Like, once you've seen Joe Rogan, like in like looking like a normal human being, a non Joe Rogan, it's deeply upsetting. You can't like go back to having unseen it.
Yeah. And then you just see a man who is like constantly tomato red, and
It's on the verge of detonation at any second.
Oh yeah.
that's it.
Someday, like, his heart is just going to give out, and no one's going to be surprised. It's just like, yep.
I mean, I think Rogan will be surprised at least a little bit.
Oh yeah, because he'll have taken like 5 different things that people assured him would make him immortal or some shit.
He had been assured. So wait, if you're told you're going to be immortal from taking something, do you then take something else just to like make sure you're going to be
Just to be double sure,
Extra
you could be double
immortal.
immortal. You don't
Yeah, like
fucking know.
you wanna like hedge your bets.
It's Pascal's wager, but for like weird bullshit that they sell you online.
Over all your
For like stuff Alex Jones would try and sell you.
Like I'm gonna
force
take
act.
I'm gonna take the like fucking brain god pills, but I'm also gonna wear Alex Chu's immortality rings.
I like that at least one person is like, hey, Lynx, right? Where have you been?
Been a minute.
I decided to make my team extra bizarre with Zappa and Norris hanging out.
I mean, those are like the most just like a dudes that you have. That's the least bizarre that your team has been in a while.
That's disappointing.
Me and my team of guys getting drunk at the rec center.
I wasn't even aware that was a thing you could do. I feel like I'm
It
learning
is
a
if
lot
you're
today.
determined enough.
Like if
What
you're
I'm
not
hearing
getting
is
drunk
that
at the
you're
rec
not-
center, you're not trying.
What I'm hearing is that you're not ready to sneak like 3 6-packs into a rec center and drink them all at once.
I mean, like that would do it, but like also, yeah, I guess I am genuinely not willing to do that.
yeah, it is.
I feel like these are
That
very
would be the
important.
saddest form of
Yeah,
drunk
like I feel
imaginable.
like every day I don't sneak 3 6-packs into the rec center and drink them all at once is a day I'm making better choices.
That is
Exactly.
right. That is there with like the guy pouring liquor into his like large soda at McDonald's at like 1:30 in the afternoon.
It's like I get it, Sometimes, like by 3 o'clock, I'm like, God, I could use a beer too, but not having one is part of the struggle.
Sometimes it's better that you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. You make the choice. You make the choice. Some make the choice like, what would make this double cheeseburger even better? Like pouring some straight up pouring a lukewarm pint of vodka into this soda and daring someone to say something about it.
I mean, I suppose that is like the difference between saying you don't give a fuck and actually not giving a fuck. But
That's it.
I feel like that's one of those situations where not giving a fuck, maybe you should have given a fuck, just like a little.
You should give at least a little bit of a fuck.
Like, I am all
that.
for not giving a fuck, but I feel like maybe this was one of those rare times where, maybe we should like consider giving a fuck.
You need to save your not give a fuck for those times.
Yeah,
Absolutely necessary. Case in point. Wiping a child's ass, and they decide at this exact moment they're going to shit again, and so you're just facing down.
And now it is time.
Yep.
You're just facing down the reality that someone's going to have to grab this turd before it hits the floor, and it's going to be you. That's what you say if you don't. That's what you say if you don't give a fuck for.
Yeah.
Because you need it in that moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point of the game, sorry to get back to that, we somehow.
I was about to say, who's this Sephiroth looking motherfucker? But then all of a sudden I went, no, who's this Sashomaru looking motherfucker? And I better.
He's got.
I regret that his hair is less purple than it was in the PS1 version.
Yes, agreed.
This would be like right about when Inuyasha was a thing. It's not like out of the question.
I want to say this
this.
was just before.
Sephiroth has little dick energy, but Sashomaru has big dick energy.
So where does Card
Important
land?
distinctions.
Like I feel like Sephiroth could not get laid if he wanted to, and Sashomaru has never wanted to get laid.
That's it.
For the record, Inuyasha started significantly earlier in Japan, 1986. So.
Okay.
So this is the sweet spot for like people who would like know what the fuck Inuyasha was.
Wait, did you say 1986?
1996.
1996. That makes so much more sense. I was questioning everything for a moment.
Inuyasha and like Sailor Moon were concurrent.
Soviet Union. Few people know this. No one is talking.
No one is talking about this.
Why is nobody talking about this?
I am so sad that like nobody knows about the G Manifesto guy.
I miss him so much.
I miss him so much.
I think that he is like the hidden imam. He is going to return just as we think that all is lost.
to write posts about waiting in line at the liquor store to open at 9:30. And and claim, oh yes, I did in fact have sex with 10 models last night. You wouldn't know them though; they live in Canada.
He was like, today I was on the beach doing open water swims with my hands handcuffed behind me. A strong, well-received mood. You know this.
Convinced that Gogglebob just chose Zoa on the basis of constantly shouting.
100% agreed.
So we have the choice to take Lynx out of this party, and we just don't.
No, we can't take Lynx out of the party ever.
Yeah, you can do that in subsequent playthroughs.
Oh.
It's another thing that always bummed me out about this game having so many characters. Like, again, Suikoden, you have so many people in your party at
6-person party.
once. Yeah, it's just, you can only ever choose 2 people out of all these.
You have like a
this bizarre
bunch.
menagerie you got going on.
Like, even like, I've spoken at length about. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Stars of Destiny each have like their own identity. They've got their own flavor. Like you are undergoing an entire like gameplay and lore experience when you choose one of them.
Yeah, that's not the case
Then
in Chrono
These
Cross.
nerds.
Yeah. Yo, it's that guy from Guilty Gear. Kai
Norris
Kiske.
looks a lot more. Norris looks like he's tanning like a tomato in this version.
Also, I just love the Norris, like, here's a brief explanation. Just I'm another you, don't worry about it.
Look, like if I was just hanging out with like some guys I know, and like all of a sudden one of them shows up with me, and they're like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I'm the you from the universe where you didn't do A, B, and C." I would be like, "All right, sure."
Can
I'm
I
not gonna
just...
question it.
I'm going to just point out the fact that I am definitely one of those people that my literal clone could be standing in front of me and I'd be like, who's this dork? It's like, oh,
Who's this jack,
that's
yeah.
your exact twin. It's like, no, I don't look like that. Thank you.
No, I would probably be like that as well.
I mean, I'd believe it if someone told me because I'm just terrible with faces. I can't recognize anyone.
Well, you are the only person who's never seen your own face.
That's true.
Yeah,
No,
I see him here, and I take selfies. I got the gist.
Got the gist.
It's pretty generic, as I can tell.
Yeah, you know, it's fine.
I mean,
Gets the job
I'm
done.
just autistic enough that it makes me boring, but not enough that I don't have to be confronted with people's faces. I feel I don't know. I feel like I got ripped off.
Yeah, I can't remember anyone's face. I'm sorry.
That's all good.
Now, this is why the internet forum was the ideal construction of online, because everyone had their avatar.
Yeah.
Only dealing with, at most a few thousand people.
Oh yeah.
That's on the real busy ones.
Yeah, I do have to say I'm definitely one of those people that when somebody would change their avatar, it's like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Why are you
yeah.
talking to me like I know you?
Yeah, who's this clown?
And we've seen the horrible outgrowth of that with the kind of person who changes their Twitter display name and avatar all at once.
Oh, yeah,
And it's like,
no
who the
idea.
fuck is this? Who the fuck are you?
Like there are so many people where like apparently we've been following each other. I'll see them say something like really fucking stupid, and I'll be like, okay, do I unfollow? And it ends up me just like having to like basically use Twitter search for both our names to see what our past interactions were, if there's anything I consider worth salvaging.
Who is this clown?
No, that behavior is unjust aggression, and I am allowed by divine law, by natural and divine law, to engage a just war of self-defense under these conditions.
I try to be understanding. Sometimes somebody just had a bad day, but like if they like unironically retweet like an NFT or something, nah, it's over. Fuck you.
I dropped that Cyber City Oedo shit in the chat.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, damn. AB, I've been telling everybody about this. Calscope, you're here too. This is wonderful. Are you all aware of what's going on with Seth Green?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I am not, actually. I'm behind the curtain on Seth Green news.
I would not call that
let me tell him,
behind the
please let me
curve.
tell him. This is so important to me.
Tell
Go
me.
ahead.
Okay, so Seth Green, being Seth Green, just kind of a piece of shit. Whatever. He's a celebrity. They're all kind of pieces of shit. Got it in his head after he bought his very own Bored Ape NFT that he was going to make Bored Ape cartoon about his Bored Ape, which has like a fucking serial number. I think it's 8976, something like that. Whatever. Who gives a shit, right? Then, as happens constantly, every fucking day in crypto, all the fucking time, forever, all of the shit his wallet gets emptied, he's out like, a couple $100,000 and also some like tokens that are supposedly worth whatever. Who cares? It's all fake Monopoly money anyways. But, the way Bored Ape Yacht Club, the way they try to drum up their shit and like make it like sound more important than it is that when you buy the token, you actually get the right to do like derivative works and creative works and like, but TV show rights and something. This is all just some bullshit to make celebrities pay even more money for them. Nobody expected anybody to do anything with that. But Seth Green was going to use that to make his terrible cartoon. And that means that since somebody stole his NFT and sold it off and flipped it to someone else, he no longer can make his cartoon. Because the rights to make his cartoon are actually tied to the token. There's not like a contract like in a fucking building. People have
There's no contract with a person. There is only a contract with.
There is only the smart
holder.
contract and the Bored Ape Yacht Club terms of service.
Code is law.
The code is law.
No one who has ever written useful code has ever thought that that was a good idea.
As such, he has spent basically all week begging some guy to buy the NFT at like a super discounted price because the other guy, whoever stole it, just wanted to flip it as quickly as possible. He's been begging this dude on Twitter to please sell him it back so he can make his like stupid bullshit passion project. And the guy, to the best of my knowledge, has not responded at all. I don't think he even uses Twitter.
My
So
God.
great.
That is incredible, and I just don't know how to feel about the fact that like real life has turned like the world's silliest cyberpunk novel.
Oh yeah, no, like the idea
Yeah.
that like because this is like what people talk about when they want to put everything on the blockchain. This is literally
Yeah.
the situation where we'll keep all legal documents on the blockchain. This is like the crypto dream, and that means that in their dream, some fucking Russian troll farm will suddenly have the exclusive rights to fucking Betty Boop, Sonic the Hedgehog, and I don't know, at least a third of the Dragon Ball Z cast. Not Goku though. That one they got Goku on lock.
Oh, the
Thank you for that.
saddest short story in the world is now. Wallet hacked, all me apes gone.
The guy Seth Green is begging with is apparently named Darkwing84. That's all in caps. Which makes it even better.
Oh, he loves the
According
Disney
to
after.
Pooch.
That Green is getting
cigarette.
ghosted.
84 is exactly the correct year to have Darkwing as your name.
Yeah,
Like
that
100%.
motherfucker's getting dangerous.
So fucking good. Thank you for allowing me to share this
Thank you very
important
much for
story with
sharing
you all.
that information.
I have this friend of mine who had a very brief career as a stand-up comedian, and he would have done. I guess he would have done okay, but for some reason he decided on stage that his like character would be like equal parts Robin Williams and Darkwing Duck.
Oh dear. There are choices going on there. Also,
so
this
he was
dude is named Prophet.
Hey, Prophet.
I mean, he looks prophety.
Balthazar or something, whatever.
He's just being generally
that-
helpful.
I'm just glad to have all the Chrono Trigger characters they could give like a big substantial role to. They chose everybody's fan favorite, Balthazar.
I mean,
Oh,
I do
gosh,
appreciate
sorry.
that he got to have like a, should we say, redemption arc, because basically he just showed up and went crazy in the first one.
I forget who Balthazar was in Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was not the most memorable or beloved character in that game.
Was like
He
the
built your
chancellor that, like,
spaceship.
sentenced you to death? Oh,
No, he
okay.
was
No, that's
he was one that
Yakura.
got sent to the future.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
wasn't
built
he the-
the time machine. They got like tiny bits of screen time, mostly after he'd kind of gone vegetative, I think.
Oh, that's great.
Unless you went to his place before when you first come to the future.
I'm sorry, I managed to line this up so Norris is talking to Norris, and they don't have a problem with that.
Sure, why not?
Norris
He's done
is
thinking.
actually running from one position to the other, just carrying on a conversation with himself, like a
he's
Gilbert and Sullivan show.
he's doing real one-man show shit. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah. This is Nanette 2.0.
Alternately,
Two Norses.
he's doing a Ryan George video.
The two Norses need to flip their hairs in different directions so we can tell them apart.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. That would be some Zamat and Tomaz shit from
Yes.
G.I. Joe. That would be so good.
Okay, and then there's this other plot thread that apparently the chef, when he hears a bell, turns into the hell chef who tortures people. And, like, I don't know why this is happening.
Why is he not wearing his shirt?
I wonder
Because
how
he
many
is part of
scenes
the
like
dreaded
this.
Shaw clan.
Yeah, so they're
Of
not big in the
course.
clothes.
Yeah, like I wonder how many scenes like and story arcs like this you would have to get rid of to have like put like the resolution to Magus in its place.
No, we
I
had to have
wonder,
Hell
like-
Chef.
I feel like Hell Chef becoming normal chef is really easy. So that one took like 5 minutes.
I wonder how much less I would dislike this game if they just cut Torcha and replaced him with nothing.
He's the worst.
How do we know that there wasn't like all the cut characters were just additional members of the Cha family?
Like, just imagine what someone looked at and was like, "No, we're keeping Torcha. This other person can go. We're
Guys.
keeping Torcha."
You just like, so why are we keeping Korcha? It's like, no, you don't open that fucking file. Like, I sealed this. Any man breaks that lock, I kill. Like from Grizzly Man, never listen to this.
Also, Zappa is apparently equipped with what looks like a bopper hammer.
My God, he is. That looks like the the Boeing hammer you can get in Breath of the Wild at the
I was
monster
just
shop.
going to say that he's like kidnapped Amy Rose and took her weapon.
Also good.
Oh.
Yeah, out of other characters brought up, of course, this stream, I feel like Amy Rose clearly could have been a Chrono Cross playable character. Clearly Grodd. Clearly George Costanza.
Yeah, like we have like a whole list of characters you could have put in this game that weren't Portia.
Again, I would be fine with Korcha being replaced with literally nothing. His
Every time,
absence
like
would
I
be an
think about
improvement.
like a character you could put in a video game, I think about the dude who just photoshopped Sonic the Hedgehog into Elden Ring, and just like toasted. You see the shit, Sonic the Hedgehog? And like I look at this and I'm like, yeah, sure, you can just throw Sonic the Hedgehog in here, whatever. I don't think anyone would mind.
No, I'm thinking about the weirdo, like, it's been like 10 years ago, threatening to retranslate FF7 to be more loyal to the Japanese, except that he was also going to replace Ketchi with a new original character named Matthias Issachar.
Okay, so like it's kind of weird to like say, yes, this will be the definitive this will be the definitive version that like you were cruelly denied by those foolish localizers, but also I put my OC in there.
Yeah, no, that's what makes it like the ultimate expression of the internet.
I feel like it takes like incredible spiritual fortitude to say with a completely straight face, yes, my OC is canon and would have been like on the in the final product if the localizers were not cowards.
The localizers forced Ketchi into this video game.
Yeah.
Also, the most OC name imaginable, Matthias Issachar.
Also, Puchkin's posted Hell Costanza, which I feel must not go unnoticed.
That's probably a
Very good.
Seinfeld episode. I haven't watched all of them. Probably one of them is that.
Hell Costanza.
I'm just thinking like it being like one of those Hell Homer comics you see on Twitter every now and then.
Oh no.
I'm just picturing the mortal enemy of like regular George Costanza.
That's just life. Life itself is the enemy of George Costanza.
So, all right. Funny enough, I've been working on. So I've learned animation recently, and I'm planning on making a YouTube channel. But I've been trying to think of like a good username for the YouTube channel. I kind of want it to be Hell Costanza.
Well, there you go.
Do I have your permission to use Hell Costanza?
Hell Costanza, I love it.
I mean, it's up to Pooch at this point.
Yeah, because that's a good one. That's
That is
very
true.
good.
I don't know if Pooch is still in the chat, but I'll message them. They'll,
Georgie, you worshiping the devil? Georgie.
El Costanza. We're just changing lives today here on the stream.
Yep.
Really are. Really are.
Oh, you got the okay.
Aha!
Much
Right,
appreciated.
successfully transferred.
You didn't even need to use an NFT.
Yeah, it's in the
I'm
blockchain now,
enshrining
buddy.
this. I'm enshrining this on the blockchain right now.
Damn it.
Every time, like, I think about somebody minting NFTs, I am my brain immediately goes to the dick bag who's like, I just minted your tweet as an NFT. To me, I'm just saying fuck crypto, and I'm like, no, you fucking didn't. If you had, you would have done like the verify. You would have posted like a fucking screenshot or some shit. And it wouldn't be hard to fake a screenshot of that shit. I am saying that, like, I don't think you would pay the $50 necessary to make one of my many fuck NFT tweets immortalized in the blockchain. Especially when the second you do that, I'm just gonna delete it, so your NFT is now to a 404.
Now I'm thinking about the fucking Drell pretending to auction the no tweet as an NFT. To know I'm getting dog shit offers here. I never said crypto was monopoly money for pedos and drug addicts. I only thought it repeatedly. My friend, the only cryptocurrency you want to get your hands on is this birdseed. There's a lot of birds, and they all gotta eat.
Also, congratulations to Chrono Cross with all the cut content that was in there for somehow getting a sewer level in there.
There's several.
Oh
That's
yeah,
true.
the valves. Oh yeah, my nipples are hard now.
When are you gonna fight Red
One thing
Rock?
I love, if there's one thing I love in an RPG, it's running around in a fucking sewer, twisting valves. Oh yeah, do you have to fight a giant cockroach?
Gotta fight a giant cockroach.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
I'm trying to, like, think,
this should not be an
Alright,
HD.
okay, one of my favorite games of all time, Skies of Arcadia, did in fact have a sewer level, but
Put together.
because of the way that game is designed, there'd be huge chunks of it where, like, there would just be nothing but open sky when the floor fell out, and,
This
like, the
motherfucker
boss...
is named Rochester.
That's beautiful. That's fucking beautiful.
I'm
And the
still just
boss
thinking
was
about.
a manatee full of green bile and skulls.
I'm still just thinking about the fact that, like, the fucking, like, my favorite nonsense thing that happens in Xenogears, which this is basically a cousin game too, was just the end of the sewer level where you just fight like a big monster named Red Rum.
That's rough.
Who could possibly
Oh,
be
okay, so I thought
murdering
those
all of
things-
these people?
I thought those things on its back were like skulls, but it turns out they're moths. That feels like
They're
a
tiny. No, they're tiny baby roaches with fucking chibi eyes.
That's
Because this game was forged on the anvil of Lucifer by human hands unwittingly turned towards the ends of diabolical intelligences.
I'm absolutely the only motherfucker on here dumb enough to get publicly whipped for posting NFT bullshit while also making $0 off of them.
You know, I have to say, I played Chrono Cross a lot when it came out, and I literally forgot this boss existed.
I mean, can we blame you? It's in the sewer level.
That's because the human brain is not meant to contain the knowledge of Rochester. All right, your animal like fucking reptile brain was struggling against itself to try to preserve your life. But now you're old, you're worn down, you're weak, and Rochester is now engraved on your soul.
You went a long way without Rochester, but you couldn't
back,
stay the
baby.
course.
Rochester,
All roads
holy
lead Rochester.
back.
We never got away from Rochester.
Can we just start making merchandise? It's just a T-shirt that says "Rochester is back, baby." in Comic Sans font.
Rochester's back, baby. It's good now. Ah, woo, wolf noises.
Pushkin asks if this is better or worse than the Xenogears sewer level. He also says, all my Helica stances gone. She also says that. Apologies.
She, yeah.
Pooch of Hell Costanza's gone. It's a fucking shame it is.
I'm going to say that
I feel like
Xenogears was
Walla-
worse because it was longer, for the record.
Boy, the Xenogears sewer
There's
level.
very
was
few
awful.
dungeons in this game that are more than like 17 minutes.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the dungeons in this game like pissing me off, while Xenogears had plenty that pissed me off.
Unfortunately, we did also somehow spend like 2 hours in Viper Manor the first time. I still don't know how that happened.
Interesting.
You fought that same door like 17 times. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that was before I started cheating. Just every
There was
step
still
I
no
took
reason to
somehow
fight it
triggered
as
a
many
battle.
times as you did. Oh, hey, it's Fargo.
Fargo's character art seems like weirdly good. Is that strange?
It doesn't seem to have been retouched essentially at all.
Yeah, like his seems to have been like no, we just got the original portrait. I don't know. He's definitely a stylistic clash with every fucking Look at like the difference between
Every
Boris and
redrawn
Fargo.
portrait looks nothing like the old ones, whereas his just like, yeah.
Also, I would like to point out, like, I'm not going to say this is exactly a plot hole, but, like, Lynx was literally presenting himself to an army as, like, another sort of general or politician, and he winds up kind of taking over, like, he kind of soft takes over a country, and Serge was a kid in a bandana. And I love how everybody that you encounter is like, this isn't Lynx, it's Serge. And everyone's like, oh, Serge, that's someone who I remember existing. Like, suffice to say, I feel like Lynx had like a, more public footprint.
Oh, I mean, like the whole, body swap with the main villain is such a fun idea, and it kills me that they did almost as little with it as they possibly could. And also, do just want to point out that the whole, him manipulating like an entire nation's military and all that stuff, again, all just to get Serge to a door. There was no smoother, more intuitive way to do it.
I'm trying to think of like parallels to that in other media I've seen. The only one springing to mind is from goddamn Marvel's The Defenders. So no, just no. That show is so bad. And it's a shame because it should be awesome. Like, the entire final battle was a giant kung fu fight set to a Wu-Tang song. How do you fuck that up?
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Unthinkable.
My wife's sticking her tongue out at me. I gotta go, I have to go kiss her. It's important.
Good luck with that.
Have fun now.
Cash rules everything around me. Quick and get the money.
All I have to say to that is Flow Carbon, blockchain-enabled carbon trading platform backed by Adam Newman.
Oh, God.
Hell's Cook.
I think there's another reason why I forgot Rochester. Like, this guy's here stealing thunder. Like, how can you remember anything else?
Yeah, no, this is the
happens.
boss of this area, the end. Like, why would you even think of Rochester?
Also, this is another situation where, like, I remember fighting this man. I did not have any recall of when, where, or why.
At some point, you
Like,
fight
okay,
that chef.
Remember how there was the Islander chef? Like, yeah, I love the Islander chef. He's really cool. Yeah, he's evil now. How do I know? He's black.
Oh!
Damn. I mean,
Oh.
I was gonna say he's more blue, but no, he's definitely black.
He's
Character
just
portrait they made him look more blue, I think, to make it less terrible. But
Yeah,
the character model, no real getting around it.
no,
Yeah.
not really.
This is a remaster. They had to change the power to change this.
Yeah, they could have,
They
like, made it different, but they did.
Correct the record, but no.
I think that would have taken, like, literally 5 seconds in Photoshop, and that was just way too much effort.
And, like, he's Hell's Cook. Like, I don't know if... Like, I guess he's got red hair, but I'm not exactly certain, like, his color scheme even really make sense to begin with.
So why isn't this guy the grown-up Chrono? He's at least got red hair.
That's true.
We never heard
I
Chrono
like the
talk.
idea of
Chrono may have had a
Chrono-
really annoying
Of
fucking
Chrono going
accent.
from like, a really buff 16-year-old to just like some weird dumpy chef dude. It's great.
But he's like
Chrono.
look at him. He's got like powerlifter body.
Yeah, I was
you
about
know?
to say, he's not exactly
yeah,
dumpy.
no,
He's got that,
absolutely.
like, that barrel-chested thing going on.
Yeah,
Chrono
like
grew up to sire the entire Cha clan.
He's got, he's
That's
got
Oh,
that
never
fucking
mind.
down
Never
slide
mind.
on
A true
his
villain.
like I was on board and then suddenly I wasn't.
Wait, is Zappa a Chaw?
No.
No.
I don't
He's
know.
just
Okay.
a little chubby.
Other than his name would be Zapcha.
Yeah, come on. And he wouldn't speak with a Scottish accent. No, Zappa is clearly Gargoyle's Hudson, just like hiding in Chrono Cross.
You're not wrong. I do see what you mean with that.
Like, he's even got the eye scar. It's really
He
weirdly
does.
specific.
He does.
Actually, what happens if I use
So you're
Hellbound on
saying-
Hell's Cook?
Well, like, now I'm trying to just sort of
He'll be unstoppable.
imagine Ed Asner with, like, a really thick, fake Scottish accent.
One of the few characters we fight who actually heals himself.
Isn't that
Which
fun?
makes which makes him kind of like basically canonically smarter than every other villain who does it.
It is definitely
I'm
one of
trying
those things where it's kind of like, why don't they do this more often?
Yeah, and you can ignore it until one of them does, and then all of a sudden, it's harder to ignore.
I'm trying to work out, like, just thinking about how this game treats a lot of, like, random one-off Chrono Trigger characters. At what point does this game show Gato completely dismantled?
During the flashback.
Of course. I didn't remember where, but I knew it must have done it at some point.
Yeah, no, you get to see Luca's orphanage, and it's not doing well.
Yeah. It's like the best part of that little Chrono Trigger animation. Everything else about it's boring, but then
I was about
you
to
get
say
one
it
chance.
has to be.
I will say,
But you get-
I'm sorry. When you start singing Japanese lyrics, I just remember how we were watching, like, I think we were watching fucking Super Brawl, and Raider offhandedly mentions playing Daytona, like the Daytona 2 cab. You just
yeah.
bust out with oh god, what song was it? Slingshot. Yes. I can see what's up ahead. Is no mirage.
Truth is.
That's like a fucking banger, though.
To my machine. The rain starts when two of us become one. Bright lights fill my eyes. You have no choice but to race. There's no escape. No
the new boss
mistake you
theme for
can
Chrono
make.
Cross.
What was that?
The
New
new
boss
boss
theme.
theme for Chrono Cross.
I mean, just anything to replace the regular battle theme.
Tires kicking up the road. Ba, ba, ba.
It's so good. I want, like, it makes me so unhappy that Daytona 2 has never been re-released in any capacity.
I have to imagine that, like, the you know those G memes they do about how microprocessor circuitry looks like Solomonic demon demon wards, like that must be it. Like the boards on that thing must just be crawling with demonic energy. Like, no, we can't do this. We can't upload this.
It must be contained.
It must be contained.
I think this is the point in the game where you get like 17 characters at once.
As opposed to
the
before,
last-
when the game would just arbitrarily give you characters at completely random points.
Oh, that's right. They like find the last of like the Slavic sin eaters to come and just chew up the arcade boards.
Sorry, it had to be done.
This is what Sin Eaters do today.
To be master of ceremony, I aim for the top. Raise each other side by side.
So good.
Oh,
No,
this is the part where they.
fucking Spotify took the Burning Rangers theme down. Like
What? No.
they had the album. You know, they had like the his volume 2 like download edition that has both Slingshot and Fire Angel or Angel of Fire, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
So now the only way to get
believe
the Burning Rangers theme is on YouTube, which is not ideal.
It's not ideal, but any port in a storm.
I'll just have to make sure that when the Burning Rangers theme ends and YouTube immediately serves up I don't know, Ultimate Bugman fail compilation or whatever.
I have very carefully curated my YouTube experience, so the things that it tries to serve me are long play, Ninja Baseball, Batman.
Oh yeah, that's what we need.
Ninja Baseball, Batman fucking owns. That
is one of the best beat 'em ups I've ever played.
It's so good, and every time that I bring it up, I have to clarify what it is. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, this is Ninja Baseball Batman.
No, not that Batman, I promise. But it's better than that.
What's that? What's the Oh yeah, the thing is, when for years when I thought back, I would think of Ninja Baseball Batman, but what would come to mind was actually Three Dirty Dwarves.
Oh my god.
Three Dirty Dwarves.
Three Dirty Dwarves.
Yeah. I mean, that is an experiment in how beat 'em ups can work, and just was very sad.
I just love how much Three Dirty Dwarves is something you make only with the most undue of confidence, and nothing has more undue confidence than Saturn era Sega.
It's just so. It is just
God damn it! It's Grobik, and he looks even shittier. Holy fuck!
It's Grobik, everybody's
God,
favorite character.
Appaloosa.
Yeah.
Appaloosa
has a lot of crimes to answer for that era, because I'm pretty sure they were also the developers of
Legacy of War.
Yeah, Contra Legacy of War and See the Contra Adventure.
Yep. Oh, dude, they did Richard Scarry's Busy Town for DOS though.
That's
That game's
awesome.
a banger. That game's a banger.
There's a fucking stream I once watched of the Genesis version of Richard Scarry's Busy Town, and it was being played on the emulator mined out of the Dreamcast Sega Smash Pack, and that caused all of the sound to fuck up in the most terrifying fashions imaginable. It was just because that game was a Genesis game, but it was full of voice clips, so it's just all the voice clips are playing at super the wrong speed. Everyone sounds like they're possessed by a demon. And so the stream had just been labeled Clive Barker's Scary Town.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
Oh
Yeah,
man, the horns in the Burning Rangers theme are so good.
It's
That's
just
so good.
it's the most. The fucking Sega Smash Pack emulator is some truly next level weird shit. The fact that there's an actual text file in the disc explaining to the
Thanks,
hackers,
Uncle Sonic.
addressing
Robin
them
can
by
heal
name,
too. What is going on?
on how to rip it out
This
and
is
run
the one part of the
basically
game where
any
your villains can heal.
Yeah, I just got real into that idea for a minute. But yeah, that's a super weird thing, but it makes perfect sense when you realize that it was being, it was going golden Grobik.
So do we want to address Grobik
Rangers.
because Grobik?
Not yet.
No.
Rangers.
But I was going to say, it makes perfect sense when you realize that disc was being mastered in March of 2001.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did things cut out?
Not for us.
No, I
Things
can
cut
hear
out for
you
you.
fine.
No, wait, one sec.
Okay, things cut out for Bob.
Streamer down.
Yeah.
Streamer down. Streamer down.
There we go. I'm back.
Diver down.
Hey, you're back. You survived.
My headphones, like, I hit the wrong button. It's like, wait,
That explains it.
it's like, why did everyone get quiet? Is it because of Grobic?
Grobic does suck. But
I mean,
yeah.
Incidentally, I feel like there's some level of where Grobic kind of like there's definitely okay. So you've got Chrono Trigger and you've got Robo, who's a robot from the future, but also 100% designed by Akira Toriyama, and is like a goofy little round boy who's like I'm not gonna say he's like R2-D2, but if you designed a trash can to look like Robo from Chrono Trigger, you wouldn't have to change much. Like, you know, you can like flip up the head and like that's that.
Oh my god, I just realized the Universe 6 robot dude in Dragon Ball Super is literally just Robo.
Yeah,
Holy
no,
fuck.
exactly.
Yeah, because if you ask Toriyama to just make a robot with no further instructions.
He's gonna draw you a robot.
Exactly.
Yeah, with no further instructions, he's just gonna make that.
He knows what
Oh,
robots
it's gonna
look
make you
like.
Robo. Yeah, that dude's just Robo.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's beautiful.
But then you've got Chrono Cross, which has a robot character, and he's like a super advanced cyborg that is like 90% muscle and has like kind of like turnip hair and a rocket punch and like I feel like
Amazingly looking at him now, I see enough shades of Android 17, also from Dragon Ball.
Yes, I could see
But
that.
he was definitely not designed by Toriyama.
No,
Yeah, he was not
wasn't.
designed by Toriyama, but he's definitely like Robo's cooler cousin, if you're going to say that they come from the same universe. Like, this is definitely a cyborg that like is designed to look like he's cool. And I feel like that's like a lot of Chrono Cross, wherein you're dealing with like we were all happy with Frog being a goofy little frog or Robo being like a walking trash can. And now here's Grobic and he is like here to kick your ass. Even if you're gonna
Listen, I hate to interrupt Grobic talk because he's like the he's an icon, near and dear to my heart, of course.
Do you remember
Grobic
Fever in 1999?
Of course, unforgettable. I gotta help one of my kiddos with something, so I'm gonna be logging off for tonight. But it's been a fun time. I will definitely join in for the next one.
All right, yeah, come on back. We've enjoyed it.
Oh shit! So the Urbit, you know, Urbit New York Week is going on this week.
Yeah.
Blockchain event. Someone at an Urbit party was just isolated from monkeypox.
Oh no!
Oh, well, maybe all the blockchain bros will die.
No, we won't be that lucky.
They'll probably just be horribly pockmarked given the strain of monkeypox that's going around.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, so someone said, "Oh, I've got a great username idea: Mencius Moldbug Chaser."
Oh god.
Did you guys hear about the fucking monkeypox coin that like rug pulled after 400 million?
$400 million.
That means that people gave the guys like doing the drop $400 million. They all saw fucking monkeypox coin and said, yes, I will throw money at this.
I mean,
They fucking deserved it.
I wonder,
absolutely.
was it actually $400 million, or did they just take like the highest price that someone bought a monkeypox coin in?
They say that's my assumption, given that like the rug, when describing the rug pull, the site described the actual creators, the guys running the scam as making off with $400 million. My assumption is when they cashed out, that was what they got. I don't know if
how is that even possible?
it's crypto, man. It's literally just the purview of insane assholes and idiots with no common sense.
It is a tax on people who are. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's the old cliche used to be you can't con an honest man, because the entire thing of a confidence game is you think is that you think you have
You're
an edge,
reliant
guy
on the
who's
thing
conning you.
that idea that you're taking advantage of something.
Exactly. That is how you truly get conned, is because you think you're getting one over on them.
Yeah, you think you're pulling the fast one, but in fact, the fast one's being pulled on you.
Exactly. And
So,
so
like-
I'm willing to bet that the best line in margin call is guy says, you're panicking, and he says it's not panic if you're the first one out the door. And every motherfucker in that $400 million thought, yeah, it's me. I'm going to be the first motherfucker out the door.
Okay, so like random soldier here is commanding around Pyramid Head.
I mean, we just haven't had enough boss fights
Telling to
here.
command.
Oh well, no, he just got stomped on by it. The dude's dead.
Someone decided that we should have like 5 boss fights in a row. Why? No particular plot reason. We just got bored, I guess.
They remember. Hey, people love Magus's castle. Yeah, probably because there were all those fights all in a row. Yeah, that must have been it.
And not an Aussie.
People don't care
mystery.
about any important sense of climax. It's just
Oh
a big
man,
fight.
Homeboy here looks like one of the robots from Gurren Lagann.
Yeah,
I can see
No,
it.
but
like, honestly, like I really like this is a character design that like survived the transition from PlayStation model to extremely high resolution PlayStation model very well. It looks good.
looks like a PSP model.
Yeah. Well, that's a diss, but I think this is still a very good looking model.
Well, no, I didn't specifically mean it as such. It's just like
Yeah, but
if you're
it comes
moving
across-
up,
It comes across as a diss.
if you're moving up from PS1 but you aren't really at PS2, I would say like PSP.
All right, yeah, sure, I can buy that. God, remember the fucking box art thread where I just like made it like a personal mission to piss off as many people as possible? It didn't
That's
start as
most
that.
threads, but yeah.
It didn't start as that, but then I think Diplo got on my case about my caps lock, and I was just like, no, I'm now here to make people mad.
I just remember scouting out that fucking like Flintstones Burger Time for you.
Oh, that was beautiful. I'm
That
very
only
glad you showed
existed
me
in
that.
Germany for some reason.
Fred was born
that's-
before science was invented.
That's such a like weird thing to have happened. Like why?
I did
like
find an
let's
American
combine-
version of it, and it is
Yeah.
exactly as weird.
but it's much funnier in German. But
Oh, so much funnier.
but yeah, like it's like a Game Boy Color exclusive game, so it probably came out around 2000. Imagine 2 less relevant IPs in 2000: Flintstones and Burger Time.
Well, no, Flintstones. Wait, no. When the hell did the live action movies come
Like
out?
1995, the
Oh.
time was past.
Yeah, we were over it.
I mean, Viva Rock Vegas. Come on.
Nobody remembers Viva
Okay,
Rock
that was-
Vegas.
That was also apparently 2000. I believe it did not make its budget back. Yeah, $83 million budget, $59.5 million box office.
Damn, that's fucking hurts to hear.
Okay, so I realize this is cutscene stupidity, but the characters, rather than run out
Why
the front
did you
door,
run in that direction?
go for the bridge that goes nowhere.
Balthazar, save us!
To the library.
Where's? Now I'm thinking
Let's
about
all
like
get
where.
library cards and read.
Now I'm just
I'm
imagining
just
like.
imagining like this gigantic robot, like on one of those like posters you see in the kids section of a library, that's like saying some shit like anything is possible in your imagination. It's just like the robot, like with a giant rainbow in the background, like crushing someone's head brutally underfoot.
Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high.
Whew. Yeah, no, it's been a while since we fought this exact same monster, so let's do that again.
Yeah, like, a solid minute. Just take a look. Stand up.
Okay,
That's
this
a
is
reading
totally
rainbow.
breaking continuity. You guys were up on the balcony and now you're in the foyer? I'm not having this shit.
Not having it. Fuck
No,
this.
I'm upset about this. I'm gonna like write an angry blog post.
Anywhere.
Ways to go. Things to know. It's reading rainbow.
Rainbow.
Oh man. Now I'm thinking of like a Reading Rainbow reboot hosted by like Stavros from Cumtown.
See, my mind went straight to a Jordan Peele, but go on.
Oh, Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele would be wholesome though. What if it was Jordan Peterson?
Oh,
God,
No.
I don't think that man knows how to read, though. So it's
Yeah,
If
like
he'd be
that's,
like sitting there, like, you know, with this like Kermit the Frog, Frog and Toad are modeling unhealthy relationships. For children.
just cries.
Just sobbing with like the
It's
first
just
30
like-
seconds of the show.
Frog and Toad are more than friends, and that's not okay.
I just don't know
Stop.
what's going on.
I always think about how Ben Shapiro keeps threatening to like make movies, and never fucking will because nobody's gonna give him movie making money.
Oh man.
But
So I've
like,
been-
one of the things he's threatened repeatedly is a alternative to woke Sesame Street, and I'm just like, motherfucker, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna like come out there like wearing a propeller beanie and overalls and say, "Hey kids, it's Uncle Benny"? Yeah, hypothetically, if you got owned on Twitter, it's totally reasonable to run into the bathroom for 40 minutes.
Oh, God.
Oh
I
my
don't
god,
think
that
it'll take for that long. I'm going to be honest with you.
it reminds me of the greatest, like the single greatest moment in the history of SEC interrogations.
No.
So the SEC, you know, was investigating some malfeasance, let's say, on behalf of a portfolio manager, and they asked him a couple questions, and he said, "Okay, let me think. Just a second, guys. I'll get right back to this. I have to go to the bathroom." Okay, so he got up, and he walked towards the bathroom, and then he just ran out of the building.
I always think of my first internship ever. I would not say the company, but it was a big one. I'm like working in my little hallway table. They had like a computer sitting on a table in a hallway. That was my place. And like I'm just sitting there plugging away, like, you know, the spreadsheets and the bullshit jobs they make the interns do. And then all of a sudden, this dude with like one of those like headsets that's not like an iPod but looks close enough to be an iPod to like where you could think it's an iPod, just suddenly sprints down my hallway to the door and then just runs to a car and literally tears ass out of the building so fast, like I think he actually left rubber on the street. And I asked everybody, yo, did you see that? Because everybody saw it, and none of them said anything. Nobody was talking. Okay, like, I'm also, like, really impressed that, like, the chandelier was strong enough to hold, like, the giant fuck you robot and the svelte also fuck you robot.
So I don't recall why any of that just happened.
I think they just wanted the physical comedy of not one, but two robots getting fucked up by a chandelier.
No, I just mean the internal justification, not the
Oh,
external.
I have no fucking idea.
All right, guys, it's late, and I got shit to do. So,
All right, have a great
Okay,
night,
see
dude.
ya.
yeah, okay,
Have a
you
good
know,
one.
thanks for chatting with me. I needed this. Thanks, guys.
Glad you're
Glad to have you.
Peace.
Anytime.
So, something I've been grappling with for the past month or so is the understanding that every thing designed to serve ads to me at this point has no idea who I am or what I do. And that's a good thing, but it does mean that I sometimes get ads for shit like, here's Disney Plus in Spanish. Is that for you? Please tell us, please. And today, I got this utterly bizarre targeted, this promoted Twitter ad that's just like, Quizable.com, test yourself. Which aura color are you the most compatible with?
That is.
And I have no idea what the fuck that means.
So which aura are you the most compatible
I
with?
wasn't gonna click it, you dip. Fuck you.
Damn, you missed out on some knowledge.
Okay, don't worry. I'm now
You
using
could
my
have known what aura to go
previously
for.
undisclosed incredible psychic powers to peer through the veil. And Fanboy, your aura is like a light green. You know, pretty
I'll
good.
take your word.
What's my
Also,
aura?
here's the exact thing.
Oh,
What grid? What color would I make the grid?
yes. Also light green, surprisingly.
Oh, that means that.
Or
means
Got
that
a lot
I
of
have
light
a-
green vibes from this whole chat.
Damn. So we could all wait. Does that makes us good on a team, right? Because we could all like feed into the
we can
grid
summon
together.
whatever the green summon is. I forget what the green summon is. A reading rainbow.
I love that you got your gang is just going down into a big huge stump. Also, this dude's like wearing full military regalia now. What the fuck?
Fine.
Sure. Okay. Why not?
Butterfly in the sky.
And they just take his word for it. It's like, yeah, I'm that bandana kid.
Banana kid.
Did I say banana or bandana?
I said
You
banana.
said bandana, but banana is funnier.
Well, I don't believe you when you said that you said bandana. I'm going to claim you said banana.
You said bandana, so it was very close.
You said banana.
Serge
I'll
is a
not
banana
forget
kid.
the legend.
Banana boy. Ah, yes.
Also, just really appreciate that we're getting a lot of, you have seen this character for half the game, now you can rename them if you'd like.
Just call me whatever.
It's like the idea of like you living your entire life is, I don't know, let's just say Susanna. And then all of a sudden, like this random group of people just comes up to you and are like, "How are you doing, Jennifer?" And you're like, "No, that's not my name." And they're like, "Yes, it is."
It is now, motherfucker.
I wasn't super attached to Susanna, so I'm just gonna roll with it. It's fine.
And now the big betrayal or something like that.
I don't think I know anyone in this game well enough to feel betrayed by them.
Oh, and the reveal of Kitty Serge.
Young Serge.
I mean, good
What
job on his
the
like smug
fuck?
dipshit.
Oh my
Good
god!
job on his smug dipshit face, but that's
Look
about
at this. Look at him like wearing his little pilot hat.
Should have given him a propeller beanie.
Did she not just hear him say like, "Hey, we switched places"?
She's like brainwashed. They don't really have any thought process behind this.
Not that she had much to begin with, but
Damn.
Well, I mean, Kid has like the thinnest of motivations on a good day.
Yeah.
Like, we eventually find out her deal, but just for most of the game, it's kind of like, you want to hang out?
I mean, like,
Evil
that's not a
Serge.
bad motivation. I totally would go along, like, with something like this just because, yeah, no. I want to hang out. I like hanging out.
I mean, that's part of the reason. One thing, I honestly, Final Fantasy XII is not one of my favorite Final Fantasy games, but I very much appreciate the fact that Penelo's basically in the party because she likes hanging out with the main character.
Yeah, that's endearing. I don't dislike that.
Had
Okay,
a little woman, and her name was Fire.
And now, like, they're really trying here. Like, they're having a whole bit where Serge is kind of like thinking of Kid's greatest hits, but there just isn't much there. Like, she was angry at a cat man, and then she got stabbed.
There's really just jack and shit in terms of what you actually got to do with her.
Like, I realize that they're trying to emphasize
John Henry, he
how
could
important
hammer.
Kid is, but they really
He
just
could
didn't do the
whistle,
work
he
on this
could
one.
sing.
Especially in all the time you don't have her in your party.
Right, and then particularly given you can literally deny her.
Hear his hammer ring, love, love, to hear his hammer ring. That scene didn't even really happen. It just a platonic idea of Kid.
Just the general concept of Kid.
John Henry was a little baby.
So, like, I forget, does Harlequin here, does she know, but like your act that like her boss is actually in the teenager being a dick?
Oh
being
yeah,
a
she
dipshit?
absolutely knows.
She doesn't give a
She
shit.
she just doesn't care. She just thinks she just like it. She's just like, nah, I follow around the cat dude. Whoever's the cat dude is the boss.
Yeah, be the death of me.
I just realized that I had to look to make sure, but Lynx is a feline demi-human. He is not silent protagonist.
I'll get it from the man in the mind. I'll get it from the man. I'll get it from the man.
Yeah, let's do this whole recruitment drive that is this part of the game.
John Henry went to the captain. So the captain, what can you do? I can hoist a jack, a track, I can pick and shovel too. I can pick and shovel too.
I don't even know what song Fanboy is singing.
John Henry by Harry Belafonte.
Okay.
General Viper joined your party.
Calm down.
Fargo joined your party. Like, I do not
No, you can
understand
steal.
this at all. Because, like, again, this
You
is
have
a
the
game...
less slavery inclined Fargo.
Yeah, less, not entirely absent. Because, I mean, as we've covered, at most, you can add 2 characters to your party. And at this point in the game...
Here's just basically everyone who's ever had a portrait.
Yeah, just winds up all part of your party all at one time. So, like, it's 100%, like, double impossible to, like, even test out these characters.
And that's a signal from the game that it does not matter. Just pick whichever one you like the best. Doesn't matter. Don't think about it twice. It doesn't matter.
Like, are we... Okay, we're almost have more than we can fit in our little screen.
John Henry said to Captain, "You want to see a joke roll down, can't try to steal like me, love,
And now we just have to establish that getting into the Dead Sea ain't happening.
John Henry drove into the mountain. His hammer was striking fire. Drove so hard it broke his heart. Laid down his hammer and he died, Lord, Lord. Laid down his hammer and he died. Laid down his hammer and he died, great God. Laid down his hammer and he died.
Wills asks, why what WTF did they put so many characters in this game yet insist on a 3-person party?
They wanted a lot of characters, and they wanted a lot of characters, and they insisted on using a 3D engine, which the PS1 was not about to support much more than that. You could tell that the PS1 was not about to support much more than that, because trying to make a 4-man party in FF9 caused it to have just horrible load times at every battle.
The fuck? Just one quick scene back at the boat.
You go, Sea Dog.
Sea Dogs 2?
I forgot about this. Why?
Fool.
This is
Finally, a discussion between these two jackasses.
I was gonna say, finally, Starkey and Harley have a conversation. Like, I mean, I was worried that these two might not get to talk much, but here we are.
Just bizarre. I cannot fool you.
Go to sleep, Starkey.
Starkey likes promises.
Starkey likes drinking tears. Alright, that nonsense is out of the way. I'm just gonna
Wheels
stop by the
popping in
bed
to say-
time and save.
Wills pops in to say, I'd like to defend this game, and then this happens.
That's about right. Alright, so I'm going to call it for the evening because God help us, like, you know, I can only take so much Starkey at once.
Oh yeah, no, we've Stark.
Just
Yeah,
to say any Starkey.
we have suffered long enough. We
So-
have done our very best.
We will pick this up again later. And thank you for everyone who was on the stream tonight. And everyone had a good time and what have you. So, everybody have a good night.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Good night.
All right, good night, all.